god, I remember that brings back fucking memories, dude. I can see the motherfucker's face. Not the whole face, but his fucking face. Yeah, dude, sick-ass beats and their sick-ass melody. You know what's crazy about that, too? If you're a kid, that intro is so fucking boss, because it's like, who is this guy? And then he says, like, but he defeated Beer. And the guy's like, dude, Beer was a fucking jobber. I'm the real shit. And all the kids are like, oh my fucking shit, he's real. I gotta fight this fucking shit. I don't actually know if you fight him. I just got that.
Hey, we're doing a Warrior Shrine. Listen. It's really surprising, because right now we're in a lull. The fucking end of the world happened about a month ago now. MK11 did not get announced. And because of that, like, I think we were all expecting, like, there to be just fuck all to talk about. Like, there's nothing going on. But the Warrior Shrine, specifically, has like all this fucking juicy shit going on right now. It's Drama City.
This might be our most packed episode this year, probably. I can't think of another episode that had this many topics.
It's juicy, man. It's juicy. There's good shit, interesting shit going on, and we're gonna start at the top. Tip is here, by the way. You guys here, Tip. I know the thing. Like, listen, it was a big deal this week. It's been a huge deal this week. I didn't see it coming. It really caught me off guard when I went and checked it out. And, you know, I know it's what Tim wants to talk about. It's what I want to talk about. I want to hear about it. It's really interesting. How do you feel about those movie rumors, Tim?
Nothing. I don't feel anything about them.
Dude, don't lie. Come on, you're super high. You read that
MIXUPS. Oh my god, I did not see this coming. Hold on, let me get the Event Hubs article about it.
Dude, it's important. And we are snatching the scoop away from you Nethercast guys, because you guys haven't got to talk about it yet.
Well, probably for the same reason I didn't think did we want to talk about this?
No, you didn't. Nor should you.
This is a hard article to find. Okay, go on, yes, speak.
You don't really need to find the article. I mean, did you read it?
Well, I read something about a 14-year-old boy, and I kind of just went to, you know, Maximilian's page after that.
14-year-old boy. He made a video about it?
No, I just didn't feel like reading the shitty article anymore.
All right. No, yeah, it's yeah. Go ahead.
My only thought is that I've always loved Mortal Kombat. You know, my opinions on it have always changed throughout the years, but I know a lot of people who aren't familiar with the series, and I'd be sad if this was their first impression. Like, everyone knows the 1995 movie, but like, I would like people to know Mortal Kombat for the things I love about it, like Cabal becoming a vigilante, or, you know, Scorpion and Sub-Zero burying the axe. Those are the things I love. Or like Smoke, like getting caught up by the Lin Kuei and losing his soul, but then kind of getting it back sorted and fighting robots. Like, that's the thing I love about Mortal Kombat. And I think it'd be cool if, like, I don't know, my cousin could see it that way, the way I see it, and that is not going to happen if the script ever comes to life. Which I don't even know if it's real. Like, I thought this was fake. That's another reason why I didn't look too deep into it. I thought it was a fake script. Maybe it is.
No, like the writer said something about it on his Twitter today, and it was like an old version of a script that was being optioned and passed around Warner Brothers, which isn't surprising. Like, I'm sure the mind would reel if we actually knew the number of potential Mortal Kombat scripts that Warner Brothers has. They're never going to do shit with any of them, but they've got them, and they all probably suck, and there's probably one that's okay. Probably.
I mean, if it's bad, that sucks. I mean, but we've had bad Resident Evil movies. We've had a bad Mario Brothers movie. I mean, my theory is this: we're already getting comic movies down. We know how to make a good comic book movie. All right, that took over.
Warner Brothers does
years.
not know how to do that. By the way, let me just throw that in there.
Even they're leveling up. I agree, but even they're getting better, in my opinion.
Would you want a Zack Snyder Mortal Kombat movie?
Oh no,
dude,
man, no. Oh no. But I really feel like video games are going to have to go through that same shit process, and they're still about a decade behind. I don't even think video games are next. I think next is going to be like the anime film revolution. We're going to make a bunch of shitty anime films. We've already kind of done it, and we're about like 15 shitty anime movies away from making the first good anime movie, which is going to set the bar. And finally, we're going to have a solid anime movie genre. That's my theory. Then after that, we're going to make video game movies that are going to work on screen. But we're not even close to that yet.
I don't know if I'm as optimistic as you are. Like, I don't even know what a good video game movie is. Like I don't know. If you want to make one that's super accurate, then you get the fucking newest Tomb Raider movie, right? Like, and it's like, if you're gonna do that, just play the game. It's the same thing, but like better. You get to experience it yourself, and there's cooler shit going on in the game.
I mean, I never played Tomb Raider, but I always thought the concept was boring. If I was going to make a video game movie, Tomb Raider would be like number 164 on my list of movies I would make. It would be
yeah, I agree. It's just weird. It's the last, like, you saw the trailer for the newest Tomb Raider movie, didn't you?
It looks so boring.
Yeah, but it's like so specifically modeled after the reboot Tomb Raider games that have started now. Like it's fucking like the chick looks just like it. She's wearing the exact same outfit. She's fucking shooting a bow Katniss style, just like you do in the Tomb Raider games now. Like, it's like, dude, if you're just gonna put the game on the screen, just fucking play the game. That's the way I see it. But obviously,
I agree.
Like, whatever. The Tomb Raider reboot, the first one game, I played that when I beat it. I actually really liked it. There's like some really sick shit once you get in there. It's kind of fucked up and fun, and there's demon samurai. It's pretty cool.
I mean, I'm not against it, but I feel like if you're going to make a movie out of a game, you're right. Do it out of a game that's not already a completed narrative. Mega Man is a good example of that. Like, Mega Man X would be a sick movie if you had the right talent and people who were smart enough and had the money to let the right talent do it. But like I said, we're still probably decades away from that, so...
We are. And let's not go down the Mega Man rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah, no, let's avoid... Well, what do you want to talk about first on our list? Because we have a... I mean, maybe we should start with the TYM feedback.
Yeah. Let's jump to TYM.
It was...
What happened
mixed.
On TYM, Tim? What the fuck is this even about? We posted an episode of our show, and people started talking in the thread about the episode. For 3 or 4 fucking pages, whatever it's up to now.
I don't even know where to get started, honestly. I guess one thing I'll say this, we do appreciate the feedback, and because of that, like, even though there's a lot of users I disagree with, like, I'm not going to blow up anyone by name. Like, probably not even by post. Like, I don't want people to not comment or not provide feedback because they're scared we're going to blow them up. So, no, I won't name drop at least.
No fun allowed.
Yeah, I mean, it's also the golden rule too, because like, even though I disagree with Hippo and some stuff, like, the last thing I want to do is talk shit and they get blown up by Hippo and I'm the fucking much bigger podcast than us. Like, that's the last thing I want. That sounds awful. So, I like Hippo too. I think he's a smart dude.
I love him, personally.
I disagree with his perspective on the negativity versus positivity thing. To me, I don't think those are useful categories to kind of... I guess... To me, not substantiated versus substantiated, I like that better. I don't think of it as negative versus positive on anything. As a matter of fact, I don't even like inherently dislike negativity. To me, negativity is the grounds for a good conversation because the disagreement is what breeds the intelligent discourse, right? People have been saying man, I hope I never read the word toxic ever again on TYM. Oh my god. But yeah, I think TYM, they complain about toxicity, but I don't think TYM has a negativity problem. I don't think that's what's causing the toxicity. I think it's not a negativity problem, it's an aggression problem. It's people having a very emotional reaction to other people's thoughts. I think that's the problem that seems to be kind of just making the threads overflow with these long like tangents about just disagreements on the game or disagreements on the website or disagreements on just like Twitter, just in tweets and who said what. Like, I think that's the real problem is people don't know how people are just deeply bothered by other people's thoughts on subjects. And I want to add to that I think another problem is people are complaining about the community, but with the time I've spent on TYM, I don't think the community is that bad. I mean, I look at their community, I'm like, guys, I don't think your community is that unhealthy. I think it's fine. I think it has problems, but all communities have problems, okay? Like, I was on MKO for almost 15 years. Like, that's not weird. You got it. A community is a living beast. It changes, and you know, it's moving pieces and evolves, and it's not going to be what it was 2 years ago. And beast is a bad metaphor. A better analogy would be a community is like a community swimming pool, right? And a community swimming pool is great. You go there, you're swimming.
No, it's not.
But the fact is, some people are going to go into the community swimming pool and they're going to do gross stuff.
Yeah, they are.
And you can complain to the lifeguards about it all day, but it's not an individual person problem. It's a human nature problem. So, I mean, you just got to be the best person you can be and not contribute to that stuff. Like, or contribute to it intelligently. You know, be the less aggressive person in the swim. I mean, from you and me, it's not even a problem.
Just don't pee in the pool. Come on, man.
And if there's too much, it's up to you how much piss you can tolerate inside the pool before you decide you have to get out or go to a different pool.
None piss. None. No piss.
I mean, it's easy for us to say that because we solved the problem by buying our own private pool. Only our friends are allowed to swim in our pool. That's our Discord. So it's not even really something we have to deal with very often. But I don't know. I mean, I think TYM's cool. It's different. It's changing, and it's going to keep changing. But
I mean, in my opinion, it's like not even challenges the best Mortal Kombat fan site out there, and just a really good. It's one of the better places for like you know, competitive info and like gameplay info. I think it's still all that shit. It's still those things. I don't know. I wouldn't send anyone anywhere else if they were asking me. If they were wanting a website. Yeah,
I think for the pure Mortal Kombat website experience, I don't think there's a better forum right now.
No, I don't.
And if there was, then I still don't think TYM's that bad. I think it's fine. I've been part of a lot of forums, and this is not the worst. So, but
fuck, dude, we run MKO. Like, Jesus Christ. And you know, I wouldn't send anyone to TRMK either. But TYM's cool.
Yeah, it's and the feedback, like, even though I disagree with a lot of it, that's okay. Like, I still welcome that. I think the only part that kind of stings is a lot of people who are responding for the feedback were not listening to the episode. They were reading the synopsis and responding to that. And thank God Evan writes these really good synopsises. You know, they have,
he
like,
does.
You know, like,
shout outs to Evan, big time.
Like photo accommodations, you know, and they're funny.
Friend of the show.
And they blow us up. They're cool. Like, the DOA stuff was funny. I love that shit.
Fucking Superman players.
So if they are responding to the synopsis, at least I have the reassurance of knowing that it's a good-ass synopsis, and that kind of helps me out. So, I don't know. I guess the best thing I could say is that keep it coming. Keep the feedback coming. I don't know. And this is just the Warrior Shrine. There was a little bit of negative feedback on the Nethercast episode too, which I'm not too worried about because, again, I think this was just a matter of someone not listening to the show and categorizing us with other channels that I don't think we're similar to. I think we kind of do our own thing, which is...
Oh, is that the clickbait accusation?
Yeah. I think most people who listen to us know that's not accurate. But I mean, one reason why I like the Hippo and Slip show so much is because we can't really fill that space. You know, we're kind of like we're here to kind of convert the lore guys into the gameplay side. We're not necessarily there to be the premier gameplay show.
No.
You know, and that's okay. I think they're better at it. They can have that torch. I think they're going to do some cool shit with it. But yeah, I mean, just like I said, if you like the show, awesome. If you don't, just tell us why, and yeah, you know, just let us know. I just please, like, if you do talk shit though, like I do recommend listening to the episode if you can. If it's not your thing, like, just tell us why. And but
listen, I get it. Not everyone likes Mega Man, dude. Like,
which is weird. I don't get that. Why would you not like Mega
yeah,
Man?
I don't fucking get it either. It's really weird. Fucking ATP hates Mega Man. He says a lot. Fucking Eris. Like, you know, some people just it takes all sorts, as my grandmother used to say.
I don't know, dude. Fucking. I mean, Eris is not always the best example. He probably like got blown up by Chill Penguin and flushed that shit. We don't know how deep that experience really goes.
Damn,
So.
Chill Penguin's sick.
Yeah, Chill Penguin's pretty tight. He dives.
He does fucking dive. Whenever fucking Penguin is in Injustice, he's got to do that move.
No, dude. Oh, that'd be so sick. It'd be so unsafe on block.
Hella unsafe on block, but it would be fucking. Wait. No, it's got to be safe on block. It's unsafe on whiff. If he hits you with it, you're in stun for days.
Nah, well, maybe meter burn it for safety. I don't know. It's hard to say.
All right, yeah, you can do that. I guess.
But I mean,
loud.
I guess just to kind of crown that topic.
Yeah.
If we come off negative, at the end of the day, we're analysts. I mean, we're not necessarily here to create a community atmosphere. Although that is great for people who do that. That's awesome, but. We observe and commentate, and then we try to make predictions based off that. I don't know if we can change that without changing the tone of the show. And I don't even think negativity is the worst thing. As long as it's smart and constructive, and if it's true, then, I mean, if the negativity is grounded, then you need to talk. You need to be negative. Because I think if you try to be positive when things are not positive, that's a very fragile solidarity. I don't think that's a good thing, and I don't think you can really keep that up. But I mean, I don't think anyone's saying we should do that. I don't think that was Hippo's thesis at all. I think he was just saying we shouldn't create false hysteria. However, I do think the game's in a bit of a pinch. I don't think the game's doing so hot. I think that's where we disagree. I think the CEO is more indicative. The number drop-off is more indicative. But, I mean, that's okay. We'll agree to disagree on that.
Well, you know, let me just put this out here. I don't say negative shit. This wasn't aimed at me.
That is true. They were pretending responding to myself. That is a fact.
You know,
yeah.
Also, this doesn't have anything to do with anything, but I just saw it on the list and I remembered it. Shout outs to Tyler Lansdowne shouting us out earlier. That was hype.
That was awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he's mentioned before, offhand somewhere, that he at least was aware of the NK's existence, but good for him. He's probably definitely not listening to the Warrior Shrine, so I'm not trying to schmooze him here, but, you know, if he is listening, if you are listening, I do want you to get me in touch with Paolo, because I want to get him on the show. I really do. Like, really bad. I want Paolo.
Paolo'd be cool.
And back to business. I'm not negative. I'm a good. I'm you know. Here's something that was troubling me. I don't like the rhetoric that was getting thrown around so much. I don't think it's an issue of positive versus negative. I think a lot of people are calling negative things negative when it's, especially in our case, usually it's really just critical. And there's a difference. And I don't find... I personally, I distinguish the two by, like, negative isn't constructive and being critical is. Critical is, you know, you're identifying a flaw to help build something up or to improve something. And that's what we want, I think. That's what I would imagine. I'm going to assume that most people, especially if you're, like, on a fucking Mortal Kombat board or an Injustice board or you're doing a podcast about this shit, you want the games to be as good as they can be. And so that's why you're saying all these things, is because you care. We care. And you know, Injustice, MKX, all this shit, I get blown up all the time. I've got the most unpopular opinions in the world about MKX around here, around these parts. Jesus. But, you know, there's lots of things that I don't love about the game, but I don't feel like I try not to be negative about those things. Yeah, well, the rosters, could use a Fujin and a noob here and there, and the fucking stamina meter is useless. Like,
yeah, I would like to revisit that topic for sure one day. I hate the stamina meter.
It's there's a billion fucking things wrong with it, but I still really like the game overall. I preferred the pacing Mortal Kombat 9, but MKX wasn't bad as fun. Injustice, I've heard, we've all heard since the game's been out that the core meta, when it gets right down to it, is not that fun. And I would agree, if you're doing it, especially when you're doing stuff where people's playing tiers and the people are shooting for high level shit, like, that's not going to be, oftentimes the highest level shit isn't what's going to be interesting, and that's how it is for a lot of fighting games. Which is why developers shouldn't really balance for tournament players, because tournament players are like 1% of the people playing the games. And if you're making NRS games that sell really well, that is, not that they shouldn't be listened to, but whatever, like, for a couple of people, like, if me and you are playing each other, like, I don't think it gets boring. If I'm playing Cyborg, it gets a little boring. It's still fine. I'm playing Robin, and you can play whatever, and it's like, we're not just Aquamaning or Black Adaming each other to death or whatever. But there's still things that I don't like about the game that I wish would be different. But
I mean,
yes. I don't get into hyperbole. I don't say, "Oh, this is shit," or "This is trash," or "Game sucks," or whatever. It's like, I don't believe that, and I don't like saying those sorts of things. If I'm gonna be critical about something, I'm probably gonna name it specifically. But that's just how I like to talk about things. I get it. The internet's the internet. Hyperbole is whatever is what people do, and it's fine. I understand. But I don't feel, especially whenever you're trying to have these sorts of, whenever you're trying to have this kind of Discord, not the website, conversation back and forth Discord, I don't feel like those sorts of terms and that sort of rhetoric is the most constructive and helpful. That's my opinion.
I'll start with the balancing thing. I mean, my problem with balancing to the casual players versus balancing to the tournament players, I don't know if those two methods are terribly defined. Like, I don't know if they want different things. For me, God, there's like 14 things to respond to and all the stuff you said.
Sorry.
No, it's fine, because they're all good points. I feel like you should balance to the tournament players as much as you can, but you should not make one style overly dominant, and that's very hard with zoning. That's why zoning has kind of struggled in the last 10 years, because games are more balanced. They're way more balanced. I mean,
it's true, yeah.
It's hard to balance zoning, and when you take zoning out, things become a lot easier from a technical standpoint to even out. So, I don't... Another thing is that the thing I read on TYM so many times when I was reading back feedback is people saying, I used to like balance, now I like fun. I think they should balance game around fun, not balance game around balance. I don't agree with that at all, because A, that implies that there's a perfectly balanced game that no one liked because it was too boring. That doesn't fucking exist. That's not a thing at all. And second of all, that is such a ridiculously subjective measure. Oh my god, like, is fucking Kodal fan 96's idea of fun, is that who you balance to? Or do you balance to, like,
are you blowing somebody else up now? Who's Kodal fan?
Like, whose subjective measure of fun do you balance to, Oh,
you're making these names up, I see.
Yeah, they're false. Yeah, I'm blowing up all those people, yeah.
Alright, fine. It's, it's a little low stakes, but that's fine.
I don't know, like, I'm giving a thought experiment here, I guess. It's just... Man, that is not a meaningful statement. I see where people are coming from. It's like, I don't want everything to be safe. I want to have cool tools, and that's what makes fighting games fun to me. I don't think there's a contradiction, though. I think every character can have really cool tools and be really unique, and you can still have a game made predominantly have 6-4 and 5-5 matchups. I
I
think that
agree.
is a very reasonable goal, and we're getting so close. So I don't like hearing people say, let's throw away all the fucking progress we've made since Third Strike and make games balanced around fun, which is basically what we're already doing, what already hasn't worked, in my opinion. So, yeah, I don't like that
But it's not
sentiment
like
at all.
fun is even like a thing. Like it doesn't like it's not a singular goalpost that everyone would agree upon anyway. So, you know, what's fun to me is not what's fun to, you know, Razor. You know, like so again, that's part of the rhetoric that I was talking about. That's not very helpful. It's not very constructive, and it, you know, that sounds. It's not a thing that I agree with at all. That's a really weird thing to say. Balance the game around fun instead of balance, or, you know, focus on fun. Like,
It's hard to even
no.
disagree with, because it's like, well, what does that mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's the struggle. And if you get two people to define it, I have a very deep suspicion that the answer is going to be very different. And I don't feel like that's going to be the case if you balance the game around Now, matchups are their own problem, by the way, because it's a special kind of bullshit, but it's the only real measure we have. The problem with matchups is they're based on two hypothetical players who also don't exist. And we're basing those two hypothetical players on a gameplay level that we don't have access to. Okay, so these two fake players who are playing the game at a level we can't play yet. And that's how we're determining matchups. That's why matchups are screwed up. Now, even if you say the current meta, okay, that's better. We're closer to the truth, but even that's not completely transparent. Not everyone agrees on the current meta. So
No, they don't.
I say if you want to make a matchup chart, do it, but just remember, it's an art, not a science. It's purely for the fun of analytics, and the discussion kind of unearths different aspects of the game. It does help us get closer to the truth, but there will never be, until we figure out who these two hypothetical fucking high-level players are, matchups will never be a science, ever. And that's okay. Like, I still enjoy matchups, because it's hard to measure fighting games. It's hard to measure tiers in any other way. I like sort of the modern approach that a lot of Street Fighter V players are doing, where they're just doing categories. These are the S tier characters. These are the S characters. These are the A characters. These are the A minus characters. These are the B characters. That's a great way to do it, because you're going by tools. You know, if you have great defensive and offensive tools, excellent. You know, that makes sense. You should probably be somewhere close to A or S plus, somewhere in that range. That is a more logical way to do tier lists, in my opinion. But even that's not perfect. Because again, you're completely omitting all the application versus matchup to matchup to matchup. So it's nothing's going to be perfect. But that's the second point I wanted to respond to. Thoughts before I go on to the other one? Because I really only want to cover one more of what you said. But what do you think about tiers so far?
I mean, yeah, that sounds. I don't really have much thoughts on tiers. Tiers are, you know, tiers are fucking gonna are gonna happen. I don't know what. Yes, what you said is great for that.
Well,
it was so good.
last week, oh my gosh, last episode,
last time
I ripped a topic from Hippo and Slips. So this week I thought I'd rip a topic from Shujinky Dink. He talked about in a video, is it okay to pick mid-tier, low-tier? And I thought that was interesting. I wanted to add to that, though. I think, God, there's so many more questions. I feel like you can't answer that question without asking a bunch more questions, so I do want to get to that. But that's later, though. We'll probably have to cover the Sonic Fox stuff first, and we'll probably have to cover, just a general, the meta being boring. That's kind of what the foundation of the whole Sonic Fox thing is the game fun? Why are people losing passion? I think that's the big topic here. So, you were talking about, like, you think the game, at least in some capacity, is kind of losing flavor. Am I getting that right? Is that what I took from? Did I
is losing what?
Flavor.
What flavor?
Yeah, just I can't think of words. Like,
I don't know what I said.
Kind of lackluster in some capacity when played at certain levels. Is that how you feel about the game?
Yes.
Did I make all that up? Okay, yeah.
No. Yeah, you're right. Like, fucking, if you watch a fucking Third Strike tournament, it's Chun-Li versus Chun-Li, that kind of shit.
Yeah. To me, I think the game is really good, and I feel like TYM, the comments completely missed all the great things I said about the game. I think the game's awesome. I don't play it because, God, I don't know how many times I gotta keep saying this, but the game is just, it doesn't let me do the things I want to do in fighting games. That's why I don't play it, and I think that ties into what Sonic Fox is talking about. Injustice, because of the movement and because of the way the game handles startup frames and duration frames, you really have to commit to play footsies properly in that game. The mid-range is very dangerous. And your buttons aren't great. You know, if you go into the mid-range, you don't really have like a fast, long-reaching button. Like, the average button is between 8 to 15 frames. So it's just hard to play footsies. You know, we talk about pokes in Mortal Kombat X and in Injustice 2, but those games don't have traditional pokes. They have unorthodox pokes, but to me, what a poke is a safe, low-risk normal that you can use in the neutral. To me, that's what a poke is. When the TYM guys say the word poke, or even the high-level NRS players say the word poke, what they're talking about is a normal you use to get an advantageous situation when you're either, you know, on offense or trying to create defense. That's what I think they're talking about, and that's not my definition of poke. I always think of it in the Street Fighter 4 sense, you know, Rose's, you know, forward roundhouse or Ryu's standing medium. Those are pokes to me, but I don't know. So you just got to commit in a way you don't have to commit in other fighting games. You know, just you have to play. There's a lot of dangerous stuff in Injustice, so if you're going to go into that mid-range at all, you got to be ready to do some crazy stuff. You got to be ready to make reads. When Street Fighter doesn't have a neutral that's as dangerous, and Tekken does have a very dangerous neutral, but Tekken also has great movement and has a lot of options per character. So you feel like you're equipped for that. I don't feel equipped for that in the Injustice mid-range. So, yeah, I feel like once I'm in that range, I'm either starting, you know, I'm either going in for pressure or I'm trying to bait something out. But the minute I make a choice, the minute I press a button, like it's almost like either I get what I want or the situation resets itself in a big way. And a lot of people don't like that. It's very restrictive. It takes away a lot of the freedom of the game, in my opinion. And that's kind of what you were kind of, you know, referencing when you're talking about how you're getting tired of playing Ivy. Because when you play Ivy, you have to worry about so much shit. You have to worry about that plant dog, you know, because once that's out, your footsies are over. You're blocking, you know.
Fucking Yoshi. Yeah,
that shit is tough. And then you have to worry about, you know, tendrils coming from the ground. You know, you got to worry about her. God, she's got really good. She has amazing mid-range normals. Ivy's very
fucking forward 3 or whatever. Jesus Christ!
And if you decide,
it's fine. Like it's not broken or anything. It's just casually annoying.
No, it's not broken at all. But it is dangerous, though. It does make playing very difficult if you want to play like a traditional mid-range game. And I didn't even mention forward 3, which if you get hit by that shit, even if you block that shit, you're in trouble because that's plus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And even if you do get through all that shit, you get past the dog, you get past the tendrils, and you get, you know, and you get out of the forward 3 range or up close. Now you have to worry about all of Ivy's crazy good normals and chains. I mean, they're not crazy good, but they're fucking good enough.
They're good. Right? They're good.
So it's hard to play a traditional like super turbo kind of footsie game. Well, I didn't play super turbo at a high level, so probably I should be careful about saying things like that.
Exposed.
Yeah, but I mean, like a traditional Street Fighter 4 footsie game for sure. That I know that shit, you know, by heart. So that's why I think people are kind of getting tired of Injustice, because the meta has involved people trying to find the safest options as possible while doing the most dangerous things they can on read. And I think people are getting exhausted and bored. They're tired of having to travel the minefield only to make their way to a character who often has really, really, really good up close options. I think that's what people are getting tired of.
You know, I mean, I don't disagree with any of that. How do you feel do you feel that Mortal Kombat 9 did those things better?
I feel like in Mortal Kombat 9, because of the dash cancels and the block cancels, the game was much more broke. Like, oh my god, that game is ridiculously unbalanced within the top 5 at least. I actually think outside of the top 6, maybe outside the top 7. It's actually a fairly balanced game, but with the top 5 are so crazy, ridiculous, and so no, I don't feel that way about MK9, because MK9 I feel like I have more freedom to move around. I feel like I can get in that mid range because I have really good, you know, movement and normals. Like dashing down 4 was great. Like dashing down 4 was a very powerful tactic in MK9. Dashing down 1, like if people know about the smoke trap, you can do like 4 down 1s. I did like 4 down 1s in a row to a Cyrax player in the San Antonio tournament. And finally the last one I did the smoke bomb, got the combo. It was great. Yeah, MK9 is so similar to Tekken in that sense, where yes, there are very dangerous tools, but you got really dangerous movement. And if you know your frame data, you can really kind of play that cool game of like poke, block, backdash, or poke, block, chase. I mean, it's just that's really cool. That does not exist in MKX, at least not in the same form. MKX, God, people complain about the neutral in that game, but I don't think that. I think the MKX neutral is fine. My problem with MKX has always been that once you get in, the game sophistication dramatically drops. That's my problem with MKX.
No, I agree.
But yeah, that crazy. It's almost like a Marvel game. That neutral. I mean, I miss the mid-range of MK9. Again, that's why I play the games I do, is because I get to play that crazy mid-range game. That may be gone, but you have this really interesting neutral where you can do dangerous stuff from very long distances. So I think that's really cool, but I don't... Once you get in, either A, you do a mix-up, or B, you don't do a mix-up, and you do a tick throw, or C, you don't do a tick throw, or you don't do a mix-up, and you go for a poke, and your turn is over. Or you could do... you can special cancel into something really unsafe. That's MKX to me, and I don't like that. I like the idea of Street Fighter when I get in, I can sort of stay in. I have tools to keep that going. It's still not easy, and some characters have ways of dealing with that. But MK9. So to answer your question, no, I don't feel that way about MK9. I feel like MK9 had a lot of freedom in the neutral that isn't quite there with it. I mean, Injustice is a good game for different reasons, though. It's a good game for very different reasons. Not every game has to have that same neutral, you know? I mean, there's different things like that. But, I mean, that doesn't make it less frustrating if you're not into it. So, yeah.
That's the thing that leads to that unconstructive rhetoric that I was talking about before. Like, if you don't like that thing, and listen, I get it. If you don't like the way Injustice plays and you prefer the way MK9 approached those things, you're not going to have as much fun with something like Injustice. But don't say Injustice is trash, because that's not helpful. Like, it's fine if that's not what you're into, and it does have its problems, big ones, but just saying that it sucks or you know, something randomly hyperbolic or some shit, like, it's not super helpful. What you just did was helpful. It was constructive, and it's but it takes a little more effort to explain things that way, I understand.
Well, that's why I think everyone's mad at Sonic Fox, is because of the timing. It's like, why are you saying this shit? Where was this shit a year ago when pre-patch Aquaman was fucking dominating? That's why I think people are so frustrated.
He was pulling down fucking checks. Come on, man.
Well, I think that's the worst part of all. It's like, when there were these crazy... When you were using these unpatched or yet-to-be-patched characters, like, you were giggling the whole time, Sonic Fox. You were uncontrollably giggling. And now, you know, CEO doesn't quite work out so well, then you post this, you know? I think the timing is what's really getting under people's skin more than anything else. And
no, I agree.
To be fair, I don't follow the guy. He may have been talking shit this whole time, and it never made its way to my feed. If that's the case, maybe
that's true.
Yeah, I don't follow him that closely. I only hear echoes from the community of what's going on, and this really pissing people off. So I think this is the first time Sonic Fox has blown up the game on this kind of scale, but I don't know. But if it is, then, God, his timing could not be worse, and I think that's pissing a lot of people off.
I mean, assuming that he wasn't just talking shit or whatever, like, who gives a shit? I don't fucking care what Sonic Fox thinks about it. Like, fucking... First of all, I hate it when I do it, and I don't like when other people do it either. Don't fucking talk about thinking about doing something. Like, fucking talk about something when you've already done it. Like, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking maybe about dropping Injustice. Dude, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, Jesus Christ. Outside of that, like, you know, the meta's boring or whatever, it's like, bitch, you've been playing this shit for like 2 fucking years, and like, your opinion is trash, bro. I use the trash word. His opinion sucks. This isn't hyperbolic. Being very accurate right now. His opinion is not super helpful to anybody.
No hyperbole, none. Not even a little bit.
No hyperbole. His opinion is trash. It's like, he represents no one.
Well,
like, no one in the world really plays like Sonic Fox. And Sonic Fox is such an interesting case for a game that people have complained so much about having a stale meta. I've said it before, but Injustice 2 has had a lot of tournament upsets in its career, its year and a half career. I mean, it's fucking so sick whenever, you know, White Boy did the fucking Scarecrow, and then you had the Flash blow up, and then you have shit like, you know, this happened recently with, what was it, the Texas Showdown thing, the Blue Beetle and Reality?
Yeah.
Yeah, this game's had some cool... This game hasn't had, like, a very stagnant whatever. I think Mortal Kombat 9 had a more stagnant tournament showing, like, the big tournaments anyway, than Injustice 2 is.
Yeah, we never did talk about Combo Breaker MK9. We probably should reference that a little bit later. That was the
Sonya show?
Yeah, it was hype seeing Kerbalicious win, but it was a fantastic demonstration of why I could never go back to playing or watching that game competitively. I just don't want to go back to that kind of... Those
what did I
don't
say
want to
earlier?
deal with
It
those
was
tools. I just don't. Yeah.
No. I was talking about Chun-Li and Third Strike before. Fucking MK9 Sonya versus Sonya. Fuck off. Like, I don't want to watch that shit. Like that's not fun for anyone. But you know, if you're not just trying to win and you're trying to just enjoy the game, then you know, fucking I can play Sub-Zero. You can play Johnny Cage, and we'll have fun. I have a lot of fun. That's super sick. And sometimes annoying, but it's super sick. What was I talking about? Oh, Sonic Fox. Who cares? The dude doesn't play like anyone else in the world plays, so his opinion doesn't really matter because he doesn't represent hardly anyone. Like, oh, you think the fucking meta's stale? Well, cool. Stop playing it. Actually stop playing it. Like, don't talk about thinking about stopping playing it. Stop playing it. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, I've probably said enough about Sonic Fox. That's fine. I
don't
have anything against Sonic Fox, by the way. I don't have any, like, no, listen, he's fine. He's sick. He's really good, obviously. But, you know, some of the Sonic Fox meta isn't super cool, or enjoyable, or entertaining, or fun for me. It's not something I agree with, you know, a lot of his meta.
I do wish he'd kind of tone down the giggling when he's bodying someone and like when he does like 3 cartwheels in a row with Sonya and the Combo Breaker MK9, like and he's like giggling like an asshole. Like, I don't like that stuff. I'm like, man, that just, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like when NuckleDu was doing taunt combos with Guile in Street Fighter 4. I thought that was kind of fucked up. I'm like, man, that just makes people feel like shit. Makes people not want to play the game. When he was talking shit to Punk after he beat him in Marvel Infinite, which wasn't even... I don't even think Punk did that bad, honestly. Yeah, and he was just talking shit. I know it's facetious. They're probably good friends, for all I know. But that's the only stuff I don't like. But the key point is the point you brought up. It doesn't matter. People are worried that if Sonic Fox says these horrible things about the game, that it's going to have a negative influence on newer players or current community members. I am not convinced that's a thing. I am not convinced that's a real predicament. I think that any influence he has is going to either fuel the haters who already decided they hate the game, or it's going to bounce off the players who've already decided the game is good. I don't think there's this abstract middle ground of this sort of, you know, these fence sitters, which I'm not convinced there are that many of. And even if there are, I don't think they're going to care that Sonic Fox doesn't like the meta. You know, I mean, we can see the meta. If you want to know what Injustice is like, any top 8 will show you how the game is played. Sonic Fox is going to... No tweet is going to change how people play the game if they know what the game already looks like, in my opinion.
Listen, let me know. Let me know. You can let us know, too, if you want, but especially me. Let me know if you would go out and buy a fighting game because Sonic Fox likes it. I don't think anyone would.
No, I
like, who gives a shit? What's like? No, like his fucking stamp of approval means jack shit to me because if he approves it, it's probably blue and furry or some shit. Like, I don't know. Sorry.
I mean, if that was the case, how many copies would Skullgirls have sold? Way more, and I don't think that was the case. I don't think Sonic Fox was selling copies of Skullgirls. And let's take the reverse example. Ultra David. I watch Ultra Channel. Man, I reference a lot of other people's podcasts on this show. I just realized that.
You do. You're well rounded, though. Listen, it's good. True. It's good. You don't talk from ignorance. You know the scene, know the terrain.
Yeah, Mr. David was saying he's been saying great things about Injustice for over a year now. Longer if you count Injustice 1. He's been having nothing but great things to say about the game. Is the Ultra Chen army marching up to like fighting game regionals and signing up for Injustice? No, they're not. At least not that's visible. Maybe, I mean, perhaps I could be wrong about this. Perhaps Sonic Fox is selling like thousands of copies of Skullgirls. Perhaps Ultra David is inspiring, you know, fans of Ultra Chen to march to tournaments and sign up. But I doubt it. I strongly doubt it. I'm not convinced that there's any real detriment to what Phonic Fox. Fuck. Sonic Fox.
Ooh.
Sonic Fox. I don't think there's any real detriment
Somebody
to
needs
this,
to make
so.
that their name right now and go to tournaments.
That's not a bad name. Phonic Fox is not terrible.
Phonic Socks? It needs to happen. Somebody do it. Somebody become Nonic Fox or whatever you just said.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like there's too much of people caring about what other people think on everything NRS related. The whole NRS community, way beyond TYM, people just care too much about what other people think. I mean, Foxy Grandpa, I'm pretty sure I read that he announced his retirement this morning. He said he lost passion for the game, he doesn't want to travel for it anymore. That did not blow up in the same way, at least not maybe in more time, but I mean, just I respect it and I get it. I mean, I would like to go back to the game one day when I feel like I'm happy with where I'm at in Tekken and Street Fighter. But till then, I can understand why someone would not want to prioritize a game that does not, let them play the style they want to play. I absolutely get it. But just, I don't think people need to worry about. This is not something we need to worry about. I feel like the toxicity is just this overreaction to things that don't matter. That's another part of the toxicity that is just kind of growing and flooding different parts of the community.
And it's just, it also is totally, and it's understandable. People are just wanting the next thing, and they don't want this thing to be the thing anymore because they were hyped for like Mortal Kombat 11 or whatever and it didn't happen. So I think a lot of that disappointment and frustration has been misplaced. It is easily misplaced, and it's hard, it's next to impossible to be able to parse through that and tell what's what on the internet, because the internet's the fucking internet. And it's not like any of these opinions are off base or invalid or too harsh or whatever. No, that's not the case. It's just it's an emotional time for NRS players.
I think if they had something to talk about, this wouldn't even be an issue. No one would care. But the fact is, MK11 didn't show up.
So yeah, if MK11 had gotten announced, boy. Yeah. We definitely wouldn't be talking about this. We wouldn't talk about Sonic Fox is fucking done. But people are kind of caught off guard. Like, they're like, I don't know what to do. I gotta be a bitch and stir up drama because
there's nothing else to talk about other than the tournament results, and that's where a lot of the toxicity comes from, is those disagreements. And I don't think it has to be that way. I think here's my solution. We're talking about the problem, but people want positivity. Here's me being positive. You want a solution? Sonic Fox doesn't like the game. Tweety does like the game. Construct it into a conversation. Get Tweety and Sonic Fox, on a recorded podcast, and construct the dialogue. Have Sonic Fox get everything he does like about the game out on the table.
I don't want to hear that.
Oh, I'd love to hear that. That'd be stupid.
I don't want to hear Sonic Fox talk about fucking anything.
Oh, it'll be great. Then Tweety will respond to why he loves the game, and then
Tweety's cool. I'd be fine with Tweety. I don't want to.
Tom Brady will show up at the end. I would pay-per-view the shit out of this.
Tom Brady, fucking WrestleMania. That'd be sick. I'd get my money immediately. Pre-order.
Yeah, man. I think that's the best solution. Is not to keep it to yourself or pretend to be positive. The solution is just to talk about it intelligently and bring everyone together at the table and just get all views there. And if there are fence sitters out there who are actually affected by this, I'm not convinced that's a thing, but if there are, this is a way where everyone gets heard. And if there are good things about the game, they'll show up they'll find their way to the conversation. I mean, there's enough people who love this game to make something like that happen. It doesn't have to be Fox or Tweety. It can be any one person who has a significant voice in the community who happens to like the game or hates the game a lot. You just need opposing opinions, and I think that's the best solution. Just get the dialogue, structured. Make that happen.
Smart dialogue, though, not Twitter length dialogue. Actually get something constructive and juicy that people can chew on and consider.
Oh, I think that's the easy part. I mean, the reason why I bring
you say that.
He is a top 8 winner. I mean, he just won what did he just win?
What did he win?
Yeah, what did Tweety? It wasn't CEO. He got second CEO. Oh my God, what did Tweety just win? Combo Breaker?
Dude, what did he win? You tell me. I
think he won Combo Breaker. Yes, he won Combo Breaker.
All right.
Yeah, but besides that, though, I remember listening to Tweety on Pig of the Hut's Twitch streams. So the guy knows how to articulate his thoughts. He's no stranger to talking in front of a mic and saying smart shit.
Yeah.
He's also no stranger to talking shit either. He knows how to do that too, so it's fun for everybody. I think that's the best solution right now.
I think that's a requirement if you're going to play NRS games. Like NRS games just you know kind of attract trolly assholes and not you know not trolly assholes, but it's just part of the fun. It's part of the vibe. You don't get that much. I feel like you don't get that stuff as much with a lot of the other fighting games. But that's also what people can call toxic. So, you know, around and around we go. It's great, man.
Yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. I mean, I just hope at the end of the day people realize that this is not the big problem we think it is. I don't think negativity is really this problem. I think, like I said, aggression is a problem. Don't shit on people because they think X, Y, or Z. That is a real. I think that's a real issue, and people need to figure out how they're going to deal with that on an individual level. But yeah, I think so far so good. If the game is in trouble, which I still think it kind of is, hopefully it'll rebound. I am rooting for the game. I still think it's a good game, even if I don't play it. So hopefully, you know, good news come this December or January. Hopefully it'll be back at EVO in 2019. I think that's a win for everybody.
I still play it. It is still fun to me. I get to play fucking Robin and Sub-Zero and a Ninja Turtle, like, with good netcode. Like, you know, there's just so much fucking good with this game that I'm having fun with it. There's a lot of shit that's not fun, like playing against Superman players. It's not fun. Playing against Adam. Oh my fucking god. Fuck that character. Like, yeah, there's a lot of... Some of the most salty moments I've ever had in my life was playing Injustice.
And to be clear, we're talking about the Adam, not Black Adam, correct?
Yes, I'm talking about the Adam.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
Fuck that character. And, man, that character sucks. And he doesn't suck as in he's bad. Like, no. He sucks because he's cheesy and good and stuff. And he doesn't even have animations, and he still is fucking... cheesing your ass. It's bullshit, man.
That's a common NetherRealm problem. I feel like NetherRealm games are really bad at the game's animations and visuals communicating what you're supposed to be blocking. I feel like NetherRealm games are so bad at that.
We could dedicate a mini-series to that shit.
Darkseid's another. It's just like, God, and even in a... I mean, to be fair, Tekken's not perfect at this either. King has a fucking jump kick that hits low. Why? He kicks you in the chest. I had to block that low. Get the fuck out of here, Harada. So yeah.
I mean...
No, nobody's perfect. Nothing's perfect. We still like the games.
Absolutely. Batman just happens to have a hitbox on his ass when he's jumping over you. It's fine. It's totally cool.
Oh, man. I was actually going to bring that up. Do you want to do EVO predictions, since we don't know if the next episode's going to be before or after EVO?
When is EVO?
August 4th, 5th? Something. It's that weekend for sure.
Hey, it's my sister's birthday. That's cool. You give your predictions, since I don't have any.
I think...
Well, is Sonic Fox going? Yes, he's going. What am I asking that for? Yeah. I don't think Sonic Fox is gonna take it. That's about all I think.
I have 3 predictions. One prediction is that Theo's gonna make a comeback and show up in top 8 in a big way. That's prediction number 1.
Who did he play?
Superman. I think a little bit of Aquaman too.
Oh, Aquaman, boy.
My second prediction is all the usual suspects, for the most part, will show up. I'm rooting for my boy Deoxys. He's a Blue Beetle oh god, talking to so on podcast. Blue Beetle player. I hope he shows up. Also, yes, I think he's going to show up, but definitely Tweety. I think Honeybee and Biohazard, at one of those two, will definitely show up. Someone Canadian will be in the top 8. And my third prediction is that Forever King will finally get his moment. He will finally take it. After being talented forever, he will finally take EVO after all this time. That is my final.
He plays Batman, right?
He does. Oh, I think now he's all Batman. I know he plays Adam sometimes as well. He plays a lot of characters, I think, but that's nothing. He's always played a ton of characters. But he's never really. He's come so close to taking so many things. He's come so close. I think now it's time. I think the clock is about to strike 12 for Forever King. And just to give props to myself, I actually semi-predicted Dragon would win EVO last year. I narrowed it down to 2, and Dragon was one of them. And so yeah, that's the thing. I had a feeling Sonic Fox wasn't going to take it last year. I don't know why. So maybe I'll be right again this year. I would love to see Forever King finally make it to the finishing line. That would be tight to me. And I think Batman, God, that character is so good.
He is.
I don't think he's the best. He may not even be top 5, but I don't think
he's
he has any losing matchups. No losing matchups.
I agree. And I hope Hayate keeps doing well. He did really well at Biennality, and obviously I love watching his Robin. His Robin is fucking sick.
Yeah, he's still sticking with Robin.
Watching him navigate all the fucking Starfires, Jesus Christ, with Robin is like, what are you doing? It's like those fucking, you're watching those movies where like the people are like doing somersaults through all the laser grids that's moving around and all this shit. That's what Robin's doing with fucking Starfire, and Hayate fucking beat all of them. I think he did. He went out to the cheetah, the dude who won. But boy, it's so impressive how he can get around all the shit that he gets around with that character.
Yeah, well, it's funny. He actually kind of plays Injustice 2 the same way he played MKX. I mean, his style is very... He's so good at movement, and he's so good at staying in the optimal spacing. He never lets the opponent breathe with either Takeda or with Robin. He doesn't ever... He's always in motion. He's honestly the polar opposite of Theo. Like, Theo will just sit there and grow his beard while you're trying to figure out ideas on how to beat him. Like, that's Theo, and I love that too. That is hype in its own way. That's the kind of like zoning I like. It's the douchebag. Like, I'm gonna.
But you can't do that with Robin. Like, that's not an option.
No, you can't. But that's what's cool
if you
about
sit there with Robin, you're dead. You gotta be moving all the time and do everything in your fucking everything you can possibly do to get in close. If you're not in close, you're losing.
What's funny is I didn't feel that way about Takeda. I feel like you could play. No one did it, I don't think, but you could play a really conservative, efficient Takeda, and he would be crazy dangerous.
Yeah, you could. Totally, Robin. Not the case.
They did it with his lightsaber style. I think it was it not Ronin? Was it Ronin? I don't know.
Yeah, it was Ronin.
Ronin, yeah. So yeah, I guess you could do it. And some people did do it. So I think Hayate will do really well. I don't think he's going to get top 8, but he's really cool, and I hope he does do well. But my money's on Forever King. We'll see if I'm right. I think it's time. I think it's finally time Forever King's going to pull through.
I hope so, and I hope I hope it's just a good watch. I hope it's entertaining. I hope it's a good showing for the game. There's a lot of cool characters, I think, and a lot of viable characters. You still got fucking like your Bane's in there and shit. Like, and yeah, Bane is crazy, but he's fun to watch because he's kind of crazy. I hope to see more shit like that. Fucking Cheetah. If there was a Cheetah in top 8 at Evo, that'd be crazy.
Man, I was reading a Bane thread on TYM. And those guys were downplaying Bane so hard. And I haven't played the game in a while. Maybe they're right, but it brings me to 2 conclusions. One of them is right and one of them is wrong. I don't know which one. But either A, these guys are hella downplaying. And like they're like, oh, no one's blowing up this or no one's blowing up that. And maybe they're right. That's conclusion number 1. Maybe that's the truth. But if that is true, though, then that means that conclusion 2, that our community is unable to fucking adapt to a matchup that's been around for a year that hasn't really changed a lot. That's not good. Like, that's if Bane's that easy to blow up, it's like, okay, well then why aren't we doing it yet? Because the game didn't just come out.
Sure,
I mean, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the answer to fighting Bane isn't just jump. Like, there's a little something more going on.
Yeah.
Like the character is good. If you could get around him just by jumping, people wouldn't be complaining about it. I think.
Well, I mean, that's God. I'm trying to be positive, right? But that is another thing I don't like about NetherRealm games. Is the fucking hit stun is not intuitive. He does the fucking like sexy pose, and that's supposed to be his overhead. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, clearly he's at disadvantage. I'm going to press a button. And I fucking press a button, and nothing happens. Because I'm still, for some reason, a block stun, and I couldn't figure out based on the animation. So now people are like, oh, you can lab that. And I'm sure it's easy to blow up once you lab it. I didn't get around to it. But, man, I wish they would not do stuff like that. That stuff drives me nuts. But, yeah, so whoever is right, either A, they're right, Bane is not that good, people just aren't blowing shit up. Or B, they're wrong, and we have figured out the matchup. We didn't just start playing Biohazard. First of all, it's not a good look for Biohazard because Biohazard, he's not exactly like pulling in all the top 8s. So, like, if he's exploit. Well, no, maybe I'm wrong about that because you can put that in the perspective of, well, he's doing good because people aren't blowing up the vulnerable shit. If people were, then it would be a different story for Biohazard, or maybe his fundamentals are just that good. So maybe you can spin that possibly for Biohazard. I mean, he's clearly a good player. Like, oh, Down for
Down Forality. This just in.
I did not know that. Biohazard. Down Forality did he win with? Well, I can look this shit up, I guess. But did he win with
Cheetah.
Bane? What?
Cheetah.
No.
Cheetah.
I don't.
I just said this
you.
a minute ago. I just said this a minute ago.
Did you?
I've been talking about this for a fucking week. Yes, Cheetah won Vitality.
I didn't know Biohazard played. I didn't put those two together. Like, okay, maybe in my head. What? Where? Well, no, I didn't hear that. Weird. Okay, hold on a second.
Math is power.
I'm trying to fucking pull up results here. Give me a break 1 second.
Dude, okay. It's cool. It's fine.
I did not. Wow, that's great. Well, I watched.
He beat Hayate. Hayate was number 2. He beat Hayate's Robin, and he won the tournament with Cheetah.
Hey, good stuff. That's tight. I did not know that.
Boy.
Huh. Well, regardless, though, I mean, either way, the Bane community knows more about the matchup than I do, but I do think that either way, it sheds some light on something. Either why are we not figuring out the matchup, or maybe it's like, well, why? What's really wrong with Bane? You know, I mean that's the biggest problem about not playing the game is you kind of withdraw from the conversation and you kind of lose your seat on a long-term level, and that's the one thing I don't like about playing Injustice is you fall behind, and that's one of the main reasons I want to get back into it. So I don't know, we'll see. Cheetah. Oh my god, I want to watch this now. I want to watch this really badly.
Dude, I've said that so many times.
Did you say it while we're recording? Like on this podcast, on this episode?
I have said it in this episode. Blow me up if I didn't, anyone who's listening.
Did you say the words Biohazard, one Vianality with Cheetah?
I did not say Biohazard was the one that won.
Okay, then I think that
I did say that Cheetah won Vianality.
Well, you know
that I said.
To tell you the truth, I'm not even surprised because Cheetah's fucking ridiculous too.
She's super good.
But it's another situation where I didn't lab the matchup, so I don't have the right pair of glasses to really see that character in the proper light. But
and that's why it was it's such a fucking like sick grand final, just because neither of those two are like zoner characters. They're not projectile people. Like it was like, holy shit, we're watching a fighting game. This is cool.
Interesting. I wonder if Hayate knew that matchup though. I can't wait to watch.
Dude, it was kind of a blow up. It was boy. He like that could have been me online. That's how I felt about it. It's like, man, I know. That's the thing with Cheetah. Like, I know your fucking 2 tools that you can use over and over again, but they're so good that it's like, god damn it, you still get hit by that shit. Her fucking down 1 or 2 or whatever the fuck it is so fucking annoying. Her sweep, that's a whatever. I don't know what it is. It's annoying as shit.
I will watch this.
Anyway.
I'm very interested. That is really cool.
It is really cool. Well, while Tim does his homework, I don't even know. My brain's shutting down. And I'm seeing Cheetah in my head. That Cheetah win pose haunts me. I fucking hate that shit.
I do like her super a lot. I think she's one of the best supers in the game. The Maximum Spider thing, I think that's tight.
Yeah, it's fine, I guess.
I guess that's a really good segue to our final topic. This was inspired by Dink's video. Is it okay, or should you not pick low tier or mid tier? What do you think?
Play whatever you have the most fun with. I don't know what you're asking. You're asking like competitively? Like if you want to
Well, it's a good question. It's not really clear. It's not obvious what's being asked here, which is why I think you need a lot of, fleshed out follow-up questions, which is...
Absolutely. There's a lot of ins, a lot of outs. New shit come to light, man.
If someone approached me and asked me this very question, I'd probably say, well, let's start with this. Why do you want to pick low tier? What draws you to that low tier character? And if they say like, oh, they just love the character,
Yes, that's my answer always. I'm a character loyalist to a fault. That's why I play Robin, who's the worst character of the game. I gotta do it. I'm sorry. I can't.
My gosh,
switch characters.
You have no shame. None.
He's trash. The character is awful.
God.
He's just fucking terrible, but I can't help it. I'm a character loyalist. I gotta play it. I played Sub-Zero, Mortal Kombat 9. I played Takeda, who was garbage in MKX. Like, it's just the way it goes.
The nerve. I actually don't
So
know. Man, well, regardless, I think if that's her answer, then that's her character. I think the conversation probably ends there. But I would follow up with,
right,
how,
but that's the thing. I'm not like scratching my head like, why aren't I winning? I know why I'm not winning. Like, this isn't a great mystery. My characters all suck, and I'm not that good either. So if my goal was to win, obviously I would fucking pick a better character. I would pick, if I wanted to win, I'd play like Batman or Black Adam or whatever. But it just depends. In my opinion, it depends on what your fucking goals are.
well, what I would say is this: like, if style doesn't matter to you, then you can pick any character you. If winning style, okay, winning is one category, style is another category, character affinity is the third, right? Once you balance all those out, you know the answer to your question, right? So if you just love MK9 Striker and that's what you want to play, you don't care about style, you just want to throw grenades, okay, cool, like that answers the question. But what if you do care about style and you also care about winning? Would you still tell someone to play Striker?
No, what? No. If you want to win, play Sonya.
What if it's more balanced than that? It's like, I would like to win, but I don't need to win. I would like to play Striker, but I don't necessarily need to play that style. I'd be open to other styles. What would you say to that guy?
He sounds like he really likes Striker. I don't think anyone on the planet is lukewarm about Striker.
That's true. He's pretty polarizing.
I think if you're going to come up to me and ask me a question about fucking Striker, you're in the bag.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so, dude, fucking write it out, bro. That's all I can tell you. Like, I played Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat 9, man. Like, you just gotta, if that's the kind of player you are, if you're in the bag for Striker or I'm in the bag for Sub-Zero, the same thing that fucking Tom Brady said. I think I even asked him at some point on something that he was on, and he like, which I was in a chat somewhere, and his advice was like, pick a different character. I was like, what can I do to get better with Sub-Zero or do better with Sub-Zero? He's like, pick another character, and he's right.
God, like, that is such a Brady response. It's the most Brady thing I've heard all day.
And that's all that I could tell this weird Striker fan too.
God, I just feel like the aura of bitterness just emanating from those words from Brady. It just, oh man,
I miss it.
Yeah, no, I miss Brady too. Maybe I should answer the question for myself. I feel like maybe I'm overcomplicating this by talking about man. That's another theme of this episode. We're talking about a lot of fake, non-existent people.
Hypothetical situations. It's fine. These are exercises.
So let's exit the hypothetical. I'll speak for me. To me, winning is important in the context that I can win with the style I want to win with. So like, I do want to win, but why do I want to win? The answer to that is winning is the measure for how good I am, because that's my real goal. My goal is to be as good as I can with the style that I've chosen. So that's why I need to win. Winning in of itself is not super important to me.
No. Because it's part of the same thing, and it's the thing that stops me. I can't lie to myself. So if I'm playing a character where the character is winning and I'm not going to be able to enjoy that. Like, that's not fun for me. And for the same reason, like, I hate losing to a character. I don't mind losing to a player, but when I lose to characters, it's fucking shitty and annoying, and cheap. Like, it doesn't feel good. But winning is the same story. So like, if the character is winning, then I'm not having fun. So it's off the table. It's not an option.
When you don't know the matchup, it's almost like you didn't even get to play the match. It's almost like you weren't the one holding the controller. The match played out in a way that was not really in your control. Because if you know what's going on and you know how to counter, like, you may still lose, but you lost. When you lose to a bunch of random shit, it's like, not random, but just shit you're not familiar with. Like Tekken, this happens to me all the time online. Like, I get fucking like 10 get comboed with Jack, and I'm just like, where was the gap? Where was I supposed to jab out of that? And it's just like, you don't feel like you really got to play when you lose to the matchup. So yeah, I don't want to beat people like that. I don't want to random people out.
But when you win, whenever you're doing those things, like I said, like it's not fun for me whenever I feel like my character is what's winning me matches. That's not fun. But when I win with a character who's not awesome, it feels so much better. It feels fucking awesome whenever you take down someone who's like a better character, or they're, it means more because it's more about the player doing well than it is just the character has all these sick tools and it's easy.
Oh yeah, because dominating another player is only fun if that player is good and they know what they're doing. That's when it's really enjoyable to me. Like when someone has talent and you just body them, that is like the greatest feeling to me. That was
like Dark Souls. If you're fucking playing fucking like Spellcaster or some shit, I've heard people say it's less fun and whatnot. You want to get up in that ass. It just feels better. I feel like some fighting games can be that way. Like it's kind of like a hidden difficulty setting. Like if you want to play on easy mode, you can pick Batman or Superman. That's cool. But like there are harder difficulties that you can play. There are harder characters. That's just. But this is just how my sort of opinion, and it's a little fuzzy or whatever. But I feel like one could approach fighting games in a similar way because obviously there's not a difficulty level if you're playing other humans, and so the only one that developers can kind of put in there for people are character tiers.
I feel like there's a lot of dishonesty around this question. I think a lot of people would say no. I picked.
It was your question.
Oh no. I mean, like in general, not to you. I agree with you. Like I feel like when people, not the question itself, but the responses to the question. Like when people say no, I have no character loyalty. I just play the best so I can be the best. The reason why I think that answer is kind of bullshit is because it's okay. Well, what do you want to be the best at? It's like I want to be the best at winning. I'm like. Okay, well, this is the opposite of the first example. The first person didn't care about style because he just wanted to play striker. This next hypothetical person doesn't care about style because he just wants to win for the sake of winning. I think both those answers are partially dishonest. The reason why I think the winning answer is dishonest is because it doesn't really answer the question, okay, well, why do you want to be the best in Injustice? Why don't you want to be the best in Street Fighter? And they may say, well, because the competition is too stiff. And I'm like, well, I thought you wanted to win. I thought you were winning for the sake, don't you want to be the best? And whatever they say is, maybe like, well, okay, fine. Well, I want to be the best at a good game. Maybe not.
Dude, I'm not allowed to play anime games. I'm not playing Street Fighter or anything else that comes in.
Well, that's not
I'm playing fucking American
games.
games.
Well, the competition's too stiff. Why don't you play a smaller game? Why don't you play Dead or Alive? The competition's a lot less stiff. Why don't you?
You're like, dude, I'm not interested
3?
in boobs.
Go play
I'm not that thirsty.
Well, no, the Melty Blood competition is probably hella stiff. Yeah, I mean, there are smaller fighting game communities than NetherRealm, so it's like, well, if you really want to be the best, I feel like you're kind of arbitrarily putting your crosshairs over NetherRealm. So I feel like at some level, people do care about what game they're playing and what character they're playing.
Well, yeah.
And I mean, for me, I mean, if I had the choice between getting first place with, say, Deadshot or Dr. Fate, and getting maybe like 16th place with like Blue Beetle or Green Lantern,
Jesus,
I would rather get 16th place with Blue Beetle or Green Lantern. That means more to
me. All day, fucking.
But why? Why is that, Django?
Well, because fucking Dr. Fate. What was the other one you said?
Deadshot.
Yeah, those are fucking
pre-patch Deadshot. We'll say pre-patch just to get rid of
shitty ass characters. Look, Dr. Fate's not a shitty character, but he a bitch. So
he's annoying.
Yeah, he is.
God, that Mr. Pibb is good. But anyway.
I don't have a Pibb. That sounds
I got the IQ stuff up here. But anyway, let's reverse the example though. Would you rather get let's say it's a 100-person tournament. Would you rather get top 32 with Robin? Or would you rather get top 8 with Swamp Thing?
I mean, Swamp Thing would be sick. I have no problems with Swamp Thing. I feel like he's another one of those working class characters that I respect.
But which is it though? So are you saying you'd rather get top 8 with Swamp Thing than get top 32 with Robin? 100%?
No.
Why? Why not? Say more.
Because the same reason why I don't play Swamp Thing right now. Like there's no disconnect. I never pick up a fighting game because I want to win. I pick up a fighting game because I want to play these characters, and I like fighting games. Like I just like the fun of it. Which is why I don't play like a ton of a Street Fighter or Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel vs. Capcom is a little different. I don't play Marvel vs. Capcom a lot for other reasons. Like but Guilty Gear, anime games, like whatever. Like I play Mortal Kombat because I want to fucking play a Sub-Zero. I love Sub-Zero. And now Takeda. Like, Takeda's super sick. I play Injustice because, god damn it, I get to play a fucking sick-ass Robin in a video game? That's sick. In a fighting game with a good netcode? Like, I'm a Robin fangirl. I don't know if you know this. I've said it a couple of times. But I'm playing Injustice. For me, Injustice is a way for me to play the Robin, Sub-Zero, and Ninja Turtles video game. It's not even an Injustice game. Like, it's just, it's a fucking Ninja Turtle, Robin, Sub-Zero game for me. And it's not fun if I'm not playing one of the characters that I want to play as. It'd be like playing Arkham as fucking Penguin or some shit. Like, that's not why I want to play Arkham.
Well, I think we found the balance then. I think we found the balance between your love for the lore and the love for the winning and the love for the style. We kind of found out where all the metrics are then for your situation.
You say fucking love of the lore? How dare you?
Hey, you said it, bro.
How dare you? This is the Warrior Shrine.
You said it yourself. I mean, character affinity, bro.
This is the Warrior Shrine. No lore allowed. Fuck that.
Well, but you bring up another good point. Like, even if you care about winning so much and you care about style so much, I think there are huge psychological benefits to liking your character. And not even for any nerdy bullshit reasons either. When you put all that, like, not even for any fangirl reasons either, for real reasons too. Because
you're right.
Because at the end of the day, like, it takes so much to play these games at a high level. It takes so much work and so much research.
So much work, dude.
So much time. I spent an hour and a half just trying to do electrics with Angel and Tekken Tag 2 last night. An hour and a fucking half. That's probably nothing compared to what some dude in Korea is doing right now. Like, that's just the reality. So, like, if you're going to put in all that work, that character you choose is the face of all your hard work in the style you constructed. So do you want that face to be Abigail from Street Fighter V? No, that would be a huge... Do you want that face to be Lucky Chloe? Do you want Lucky Chloe to be the poster?
Dude, some people really do.
Yeah.
Some people are like, Lucky Chloe is my main, dude. I love her. I got all her albums.
Well, we just had the Abigail conversation in the Discord, and he has fans. I mean, and I'm not here to dog... I mean, I'll say this. Like, I usually don't dog on something once I find out there's people who like it, because I'm not trying to shit on anyone's parade. So now that I know that he has real fans in our Discord, I'm not going to shit on Abigail probably nearly as much. I will do it every once in a while because I feel like it's Abigail and I need to, but still.
It's such a weird difference between me and you.
Yeah,
you are a nice dude.
I feel like
you don't like talking shit about things. You're more into being tactful and humane and all, or whatever. And it's cool. That's a good thing. I don't like being like mean-spirited really either, but I also don't mind really just trolling people really hard. There's fucking Abigail people. Like, the fuck's wrong with you people? Are you fucking serious, Abigail? Like, dude, I don't even want to fucking know what happened in your childhood. What? Go ahead.
It's like I said earlier about the negativity thing. I like negativity. I thrive in a negative environment because I like the back and forth discourse. That's a lot of fun to me. But when it starts to become personal and people start feeling like shit, not only is that just not cool by itself, but the conversation starts to break down very quickly. It becomes toxic, if you will. So,
oh boy.
Yeah. So I don't want to lose that back and forth. I don't want to lose that debate. That's too much fun. And also, like, if you don't shit on people, they'll come back and be negative with you again. You know, I don't want to forfeit that. So.
That's true, but you know, I have to hope, and I'm really sad if it's true, and I'm sure it is. But if me talking shit about Abigail, like, actually makes someone really sad, I feel really bad for that person for a lot of reasons. What? And that's not me trying to be negative or mean-spirited. It's like, that's something that I try to do, like, but again, yeah, that's me. I don't like taking things so seriously that I can't make fun of it. Well, I don't care what it is.
Special case too, because I think the people I think our buddies here, they know Abigail looks like Abigail. There's no secrets. They know Abigail looks fucking crazy weird.
I hope so.
Like,
but you know, like a lot of people take what they like and what they're really into as part of their identities, and whenever you make fun of it, like, you're making fun of them. And I understand that people do that. I wish they wouldn't do that, because that's never the case. Like, you're not your favorite book, you're not your favorite movie, you're not your favorite character or video game. that's easy for me to say and whatever. Like, everyone does it. I do it too. But, you know, my favorite character is also Robin. And Robin has been the butt of a joke that's been going on since 1930s. Like, I'm fine with people talking shit about my characters. I'll do it too. I just don't like taking anything that seriously to where I can't poke some fun out of it. And Abigail sucks.
Yeah, that's the fun part of it. I don't remember how do we. Oh yeah, character loyalty. So yeah, I guess if I just summarize it, like for me, winning is important as a means. It's very important as a means. I want to get first place at every tournament I go to, but only so I can prove to myself that I am as good as I want to be. That's why it's important. That's the only measure I have, and that's kind of why I put so much value on execution, because even if you lost the match, you could have done something sick, and that also makes you a good player. You know,
absolutely, yeah.
That's why I don't want to get rid of one frame links in Street Fighter. That's why I don't want to get rid of run cancels in Mortal Kombat X. I like that's why I do want more sophisticated combos in Injustice. I feel like a lot of the optimal combos are super boring in that game. That's another thing that kind of drove me away and probably drove a lot of other people away from the game. You know, they got tired of doing, you know, a chain into a launcher into a jump normal. They probably got sick of that, you know. So, yeah,
it's true. I don't know, because again, I am such a character loyalist. I don't know how common it is in Injustice for most characters to be able to do like a lot of conversions, like really good conversions, and that's like a big part of that character's repertoire. Is that a common thing in Injustice?
Well,
is it something that a lot of characters can do, like turn a conversion into like a decent amount of damage or into?
Oh yeah, combo? I would say it's harder because you don't have like the jab dashes you have in MK9, but you can get an air normal and then go into some crazy shit, or the reverse. So you can swat someone out of the air and do like a traditional, like almost like an MK9 conversion. That's not uncommon at all.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Like, Robin is really good at that. He's one of the best characters at that, probably, because he's got really good range. And it's really fun just to, like, catch people. Like, they're, like, you know, most characters would be like, oh, I'm jumping back. Or, oh, like, you anti-aired me, so I'm falling down. It's like, nope, I can catch your shit and turn this into a full combo. And that shit, it feels really fun. And yeah, if I lose that match, it's fine, because that shit is really fun. It's really fun feeling like I can react to things in Injustice, because it feels like that's not the case a lot of the time. For all the reasons you've talked about, and, you know, it's a thing. That feeling is good, and I wish there was more of that.
Yeah, you press the wrong button in Injustice, you feel like you're in that frame duration forever sometimes.
Yeah, it's a commitment. It's a hard commitment.
So I don't know, God, I just feel, well, maybe there's like a darker side of this conversation, because maybe someone's like, I want to pick the ugliest fucking character I can, so when I beat my opponent... Oh, which one? Oh, a Hal joke. Now it makes sense.
No, I blew up Chrome. Chrome loves that shit.
Yeah.
Hi, Chrome. I love you, Chrome.
What's up, Chrome?
He's listening.
He is. Probably. Yeah.
He posts pictures of video game spiders and shit. He likes things that are ugly.
That might be the secret for some people. People probably want to pick the ugliest Street Fighter character they can, because when they body you, like they want to leave that impression. They want it to resonate for a long time. Like when they
Who is that? That there is a meta to that, like a really fun trolling meta. Who is that in Street Fighter V? Maybe Fang?
Oh god.
Fang,
it's like a million.
Fang fucks with me. It's like, I don't even want to look at this character. This character just looks like, you know, he's trolling me. He's not even doing anything.
It could be Ken. Like when you close your eyes, you see that shitty hair every time you try to sleep at night. Like it could be any one of those. I mean,
fucking Abigail looks like ass. Even like default Birdie, it's like, why are you so fat?
Yeah, every time they eat a donut, they're gonna be thinking about those fucking dolphin dives. It's great.
Birdie.
I don't think there's any other topics on top of that. I mean, there's some topics that are just kind of like lost in history that I feel like are a little too late to reference at this point.
I think that you have very well unpacked and expanded on some of the things most of the things you mentioned in the TYM thread and your general philosophy towards the game. But what else do you have? I hear you owing.
We didn't talk about Talum.
Who?
You know, from oh god, I just realized we didn't address any of the questions in the fucking chat yet.
Oh no, yeah, there's still questions over there. I don't think those will take very long.
Okay, well, Talum is a Soul Calibur character. She has green hair. Did you see the reveal trailer?
Oh, yes.
What did you think?
Are you happy?
No,
Do you like
no,
that
I'm
character?
not. I think
You're
that
not
character's fucking weird. Okay, let me put it this way. I like the idea of a wind character. I think wind is sick. Wind is my thing, right? Um,
It is.
like I love evergreen shit. The evergreen hair is cool. Like there's something like really just like awesome about
Okay.
like a rich dark green. But God, the character looks fucking creepy to me. Like she was
You
already
know.
weird. They made her worse. Like why are her hips showing? Like why did Namco? What the fuck, man? Cover up her fucking hips. Like what is going on?
Oh, dude, come on, man. You can't take the Japan out of the Japan sometimes, man.
I feel like we came so close. I feel like Tekken was getting there until Lucky Chloe was revealed, and then okay. But Lucky Chloe's not as bad as this. Like this is weird. Like I don't know why they put like a 13-year-old girl in a game, maybe younger than that, and they gave her a thong and exposed her hips. I'm like,
Yeah,
that is so fucking weird to me. I don't.
That question is beyond the scope of this podcast. Because that's just the thing that happens a lot with Japanese products, like a fucking ton. Did you ever play Castlevania Judgment?
Yes. Oh my god, the
Dude.
Maria stuff, man.
Dude, like, listen, we're not gonna crack this iceberg, okay? It's whatever it is, it goes way deeper than anything that we're gonna get to the bottom of. I don't know what it is. It's weird. It's creepy. But listen, man, I'm not gonna overcome it. I'm not gonna beat it. I don't know. It's weird, but it comes with the package.
Well, I think the good news is it's beating itself because even anime is starting to calm the fuck down on that shit. The otaku pandering is starting to really kind of scale down, and I'm so glad because I like anime. I like it so much that I wish I could talk about it with other people, but I can't do that as long as anime's being all creepy and weird. So, hopefully those.
Did you ever watch that
the
Castlevania anime?
No, I canceled my Netflix, so I didn't bother.
Well, then find some other means of watching it because it's really good, and the new season comes out this October.
Would it be better just to wait that and just kind
Watch all of it?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I guess. Let me see. The first season only had 4 episodes. Season 2 is going to have 8. But, dude, you get to fucking see Alucard and Trevor, and it's like Castlevania 3, and it's sick. Like, and it's good. It's actually a good anime shit. It's good. You should watch it.
I'll check it out.
I don't know how you haven't watched it because you're a huge fan of fucking anime, at least by my standards, and you like Castlevania. Why haven't you done this already? This is weird.
I think for me, like, I just came at a bad time. I think
Do you want me to send you the first season?
Yeah,
because I've got
sure,
it.
Yeah,
because I've got it. Like, it's good, and you should watch it. I'm just telling you, it's weird. It's strange. It's like it's one of those things that it's one of those things that doesn't really compute in my brain. It's like this dude likes everything about this thing, but he doesn't want the thing. You gotta fix it. Just fix it. Just fix it. You're gonna like it. It's gonna be good. It's got an Alucard in it. He looks pretty cool too. He's kind of sick.
I mean, it's not that it's not on my list.
They made Dracula really cool in it too. Dracula is actually. I was surprised at how well they did his character in that.
It was very multidimensional because I saw
the
first episode. I did see the first episode because my brother told me to watch it, and I liked it. And I saw the Alucard cameo where they don't show his face. I'm like, oh, I know who that is, fucking Vampire Trunks. So, and I'm excited about that. That's cool. I don't know, man. Like, we'll get there, but
all right, fine. Don't watch it.
Don't now. Like,
it's fine. I'll watch it again. I'll do it.
I guess I really am just kind of into the comfort food kind of binging, just like stuff that I already like, and I don't want to jump into something that even if it's good, it's going to be over in 4 episodes. I need a slower burn. That's kind of what's scaring me off right now, and the fact I know I'm Netflix to watch it on. So I mean that was obviously a big factor too.
So you like there being more of it?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, that's probably why. Even if you send me the first season, I'm still probably going to wait until everything's out and done with.
No, that's fine. Usually when people, are kind of leery about that, I'm leery about that. Like getting into a new show, it's because there's so much of it. Like there's too much of it, and I don't want to make that kind of commitment.
No, I'm the opposite. If I know it's good, man, I just finished Yu Yu Hakusho. That was a 114 episode anime, and I was so sad when it was over. I was so heartbroken. Because I didn't know I thought it was 116 episodes, so I didn't realize I was watching the last episode, And when it ended,
Oh.
and it went back to my anime queue. I was like, oh no, and just this darkness came over me. Um, but I guess it's time for questions. I guess the final thoughts on Talon are, I think the character and concept is really cool. I love the idea of a wind priestess with like evergreen hair, and that's kind of chill. I think, I don't know why. Okay, let me. I need to give a little bit of history real quick. I always defended the Talon fans, saying they're not creepy. They just like the Wind character, you know. She's a cool Wind character. It's not creepy, guys. Then when Soul Calibur,
You sound creepy just saying that sentence you just said.
well, I've had a change of heart on the subject. Because I always said like, oh, Soul Calibur 5's doing a time jump. Well, surely they'll put Talon in the game because Talon will be older, and now they'll have no reason to call her creepy. Guess who the fuck didn't show up in Soul Calibur 5? And I'm like, oh, so she was just a Lolita bait character the whole time. So now that she's not pervy, they're throwing the character in the trash? That kind of makes me think they were pandering to perverts this whole time. Kind of a blow up, which is sad because I would have been more than happy to pick up Soul Calibur 5 again. I would have mained MILF Talon MILF. I would have made that character, okay? But it didn't happen because Namco is filled with people who want to cater to perverts, which is a shame because all that time I spent defending all the fans of that character, I'm like, it was creepy the whole time. They were always creepy. They were always pandering to that weird anime crowd, and now they ditched the character once that gimmick was gone, the character completely expired. They threw her in the gutter. And that is, God, I hate Soul Calibur 5. So that is the Iron Man 3 of fighting games. So, yeah, I hope that if they give me an alternate costume that isn't weird, I will probably love the character and spend some time with the character. But for the most part, I've already picked out my roster for my primary, secondary, and tertiary characters. Those slots are pretty much filled at this point.
Well said.
Yep, that covers Talon.
All right, question time. Let's start at the beginning. Actually, not at the beginning because we already talked about Sonic Fox. That part's done. We shat on him. Shut the fuck up, Sonic Fox.
I praised him. We did both. We shat on him, but we also praised him. Like, I would rather him talk just so I know what's inside his head, because that's ultimately what's most important to me.
That makes one of us.
Yeah. I'm not part of this negativity positivity war, so yeah. I'd rather him speak so I know what's going on in his brain.
I'll say this. I don't have anything shitty to say about Sonic Fox. I will shit all over that tweet. That tweet was trash. And who gives a shit? Fucking shut the fuck up, Sonic Fox. Okay.
That's the best way to do it. Shit on ideas, shit on opinions, don't shit on people. That's the perfect method in my opinion. Yep,
Sonic Fox's ideas are trash. Down 4 asks, he's right fucking there. Django, question for Django on Warrior Shrine. Is there a Django in another podcast that we do? I'm glad that
you go by many names.
I'm glad you specified on the Warrior Shrine, not the Django that's on the Nethercast. Am I hyped for Soul Calibur, and am I getting it? You probably. I'm interested in Soul Calibur. I'm not you heard Tim talking about it a second ago. I'm not super well versed in Soul Calibur. I've played it for ever, very casually. Like, I would go over someone else's house, like one of my friends had it, and I would play it like that. It's fun. I probably will, especially since there's not a Mortal Kombat 11 coming down the pipeline. Although, I am playing another game. We'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. If you guys have anything more to say about the NRS cycle, I'm down, said DJ Timmy, Shijinko's biggest fan. I mean, what else is there to say about the NRS cycle? I already said my opinion. I think I don't know. And nobody knows.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, no one really knows what's going to happen. I'm a little more pessimistic, but it's definitely a big we'll see kind of situation.
And the biggest caveat to all that, or thing that keeps me from going full retard, like a lot of people are doing right now. I'm not gonna name names. I'm not even talking about our Discord necessarily, just everywhere. People are flipping the fuck out. They're going fucking crazy pills because there wasn't a game it revealed when they were supposed to be, and it's like, That's what happens whenever you like really start expecting shit like that, man. It's really weird for games to be as regular as NRS has been for the past several years. Like that's not usual. That's not normal. Unless you're doing like an Activision Guitar Hero Madden type shit, which I don't think anybody wants that with Mortal Kombat. Actually, Mortal Kombat already did that back in when they shut the doors on Midway. You don't want that again. And I still think that they might be doing that thing, like I said. It might be in someone's brain, like, we don't want to encourage people to, like, stop paying attention to our game after a year just because they think another one is on the way. I think that just because, like, that's what I would think if I was in, like, a marketing position or something like that. That's not the message that I would want to send to the people playing my video game. And so I think that might be a thing. Like, if they vary up the cycle, they can change some stuff and maybe do something better, more exciting. But I still think Mortal Kombat 11's on the way. Like, definitely. It's just a matter of when. You have any other thoughts about that?
I mean, let me put it this way. Like, there's other things people can do if they're worried about the cycle. Like, I personally think we're stuck in this pattern for a little while longer. But if you want the game to live, and there's good ways to do that, there are some very straightforward things you can do. One, you can travel. All right, like if you have access to a local or a regional that's close by, go to it. Like I can drive to Austin for DreamHack. I can go to Texas Showdown in Houston. Those are viable options for me. I can't do it yet. That's probably gonna be a next year thing, but or maybe not even that. It's really more of a finance. Not even a finance. It's a time issue. I have to use vacation time since I work every Saturday and Sunday of the year. I have to use vacation to go to a tournament. So that's one thing you can do. But maybe traveling's not viable for you, and I completely understand that. You can make tutorial content, or you can make web content. There's a lot of ways you can support the game. Pretty much most of the tutorials for Injustice 2 are like over 11 months old. Like, I don't think there's a recent Green Lantern tutorial. I don't think there's a recent Cheetah tutorial.
I think I still have the only Donatello tutorial on YouTube. Until I look and see otherwise, which I'm never going to do, I'm going to keep holding that opinion.
Well, let's find out.
God damn it, don't burst my bubble. Come on, man. Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's say this. Okay, so Honeybee has a Donatello combo tutorial.
Fuck!
But it's 2 minutes long, and I personally don't care for combo tutorial. I'm glad they have a place. I'm glad they exist, but what drives me nuts is when there's like 7 combo videos for a character, but there's not a single 15-minute breakdown. And
I'm pissed.
And I mean, True Underdog Gaming did a breakdown. I could check that out maybe, but I think a lot of it's dated. I think those tutorials are made for a different patch and for a different meta. So I would say at this point, like, that's one thing the community could do. Make more content that helps people play the game. Try that. That's another way to make us grow if you really want the game to survive. Well, the third thing you can do is make community content. It doesn't have to be game related, but just do what we're doing. Talk about the game, love it or hate it.
Make clickbait videos.
Yeah, draw so many circles and arrows. Do all that. Don't do that, please. No, I take that back. No, don't do that. Well, no, don't do that.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about making sure that you have plenty of big red circles in your thumbnail?
No, I'm just saying, like, I think...
Because you have to have the big red circles in your thumbnail. Like, that's how you know that something legit is going on in the video. Like, they circle it.
Make sure to circle the big red circle. That's my advice.
Dan, that's good. That's dank meta right there.
It's a hardcore circle.
Oof.
I mean, really, just... In MK9, we had so many... I think we had a Down 4 podcast with Mr. Molina. I think M2 Dave was doing something back for Injustice 1. I feel like there was a million Twitch channels that were that were weekly. We had a Life on Boone Street. That was a thing. We had God, I feel like Under the Mayo had something... Right, maybe I could be wrong about that.
You're talking much more specific than I was. Like, you're talking about like the more competitive-minded people and stuff like what you're talking about. Like fucking, like I said, DJ Timmy asked this question. I don't think that he's planning on going to any tournaments or anything.
No, that's true.
So I kept my opinion and advice, if you want to call it that, very casual, just everyone thing. Like, don't freak out. Not that yours is wrong. I think yours is actually very good and constructive. If you're at all turned in that direction.
I think it's here to stay for a little while longer. I think the reason why people were so hyped for MK11 had very little to do with MK11. I think a lot of that was it's like people can kind of smell it in the air that injustice is destabilizing. Even if it does survive and grows and gets big, I feel like the drop off is kind of shaking some people. So I feel like people are hoping that maybe MK11 is the next big thing and stuff, or maybe they don't like injustice. They want
but I feel like
MK11.
people already had like a mental foot out the door, like as the Ninja Turtles were coming out and shit. Like, and I feel like that's that thing that I was talking about that NRS and Warner Brothers might be trying to curb. Like, that's not a good thing. That's not what you want your fan base doing, especially like a fucking like Git, like the Ninja Turtles were as a guest character, and they turned out super good. Like, I was surprised with how well they turned out. Yeah, as if you can nitpick or whatever, but whatever, it's cool. But people were already just kind of mentally checked out. Like, it was kind of too late, and you don't want that if you're making video games, and that's not good. Like, and there's only one way to kind of curb that sort of thinking and that sort of priming and conditioning, and that's to do what they're doing right now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely no turning back the clock. I feel like whenever NetherRealm releases a game, I feel like they kind of misstep on like a few certain dominant characters, and I feel like that doesn't help the growth. I'll definitely say that. So I think when NetherRealm releases a game where I feel like there's a lot of stylistic variety and a lot of people are able to kind of embrace the game without having to worry about, like, I don't know, like Summoner Quan Chi or, you know, pre-patch Aquaman. I think when that happens, that's when we'll get our growth spurt in a big way. But I feel like we're stuck in this cycle for a little bit longer. But like my point is, though, there's things people can do about it. I would say creating content and going to tournaments, if viable, is the best thing you can do right now if you like the game. And you should do those things anyway because it's fun.
All right. I mean, yeah. I don't disagree. It's a good answer. I think Timmy will be satisfied with that. And if he's not, dude, shh.
Good question, though.
I'm just kidding, Timmy. Fuck Shujinko. What did in Downforce no, he didn't say that. Never mind. Shut up. Yes, I do want to get Paolo on the show. I'll be happy to reiterate that. Anybody that wants to get Paolo on the podcast, please do, because I want to know what his vision is. I want to ask him. I want to hear it. Listen. I'll mute my mic and just let him talk for an hour. I just want to hear it. Do you think the longer NRS doesn't say anything about MK11 that it is hurting the game? No. I mean, yeah, if they don't say anything for 30 years, it's gonna hurt the game. But no, I don't think that it's gonna hurt sales or anything if they don't announce something this year, for example. It's not ideal. Like, I want to play Mortal Kombat 11 as much as the next Mortal Kombat fan, but I don't think it's gonna hurt anything, them changing up their release schedule. What do you think?
Well, it's a good question, Jodan. Like, it is hurting something in my opinion, but it's not the game that's being hurt. I think what's happening is it's creating like a temporary disarray that we're still trying to kind of get over.
The chaos is noteworthy, is significant.
There's a lot of bodies moving around and running into each other, I think, right now because of that. So yeah. I feel like it might be hurting community morale a bit. I think one thing that would help a lot is if they said, like, you know, this is our project. This is kind of an estimate of how far away it is. This is what our target is around this region. Expect to see good things from us. They don't need to be specific. As a matter of fact, it's probably better they're not specific. If they say, "Oh, we're making MKX, or we're making MK11 right now," it's gonna have 100 variations. It's gonna be the best. That could probably be the worst thing they could do. Like, don't do that, because you're just gonna create a lot of fake headcanon that's gonna kind of twist people's perceptions of the game. I would give people a goalpost, maybe, that they can aim for in terms of scheduling.
But that's the thing. Like, you're also having to convince Warner Brothers of that. Like, it's not all on like Ed or NRS.
That's true. Yeah. I think the silence is definitely. I guess whether it hurts or not just depends on how important the current morale is. Like my morale for MK11 is zero. I could not care about that game like at all, and that is absolutely a product of the fact that the game hasn't been announced yet. So, and is that a bad thing? If it is, then yes, I would say this is probably a detriment. If it's not, then I mean, if it's not a detriment, then I would say that it's just kind of the situation we're in. I I wish there was something. It doesn't even have to be an announcement, but I wish they would say, "Here's the schedule. Be ready, prepare yourself." Like that would be tight. Because the question I think that's really kind of eating away at fans right now is okay. It's not revealed. Is it going to be revealed this year or is it going to be revealed next year? And I think that's creating a lot of bad faith in the fan base all around. I feel like we could do without that. But I've always hated how non-transparent they are with their reveals. Like I hate the fact they wouldn't say whether Lee May was playable or not. Because what's the big surprise? Is it a big surprise that she's not playable in MKX? Like, fuck. Just tell us. Just fucking tell us if she's playable. This is kind of a similar situation. Just kind of give people like a beacon and say, hey, there's not going to be anything for this amount of time, so you can chill. So I think people, even if they don't like it, they can stop, running into each other like crazed electrons. They can kind of chill out. And I mean, that'll happen naturally, but I don't think that's the best way for it to happen. So I think it'd be nice if they kind of gave us a timeline of what to expect or when to expect, not what. What is probably not the best idea right now. Is probably if they can't reveal what it is, then staying quiet about the hints, content. That's probably the best move right now. But I definitely think morale would be a lot higher, and I think the fans would appreciate it. It would be a really nice olive branch if they would just kind of give us a timeline. But if they don't, if it is, let's put it this way: if it is bad, we'll rebound. This is not going to have any long-term repercussions, in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I think.
Whoops.
Yeah, I was about to say you got really quiet.
I was on mute and I didn't know it. I agree with everything you said. That was good.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
No, I heard it. It was good. I agree.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see. I think the end results are the same, but it would be nice for the current community as is now if they gave us something, some sort of timeline. So we're not expecting something in September or October or November or December.
I agree. Nothing ever makes sense with Warner Brothers when they're involved with their shit. And the only transparency you're ever going to get, and you see the same thing with their movies, the only transparency that you can kind of hope for is leaks. And boy, do you get leaks. Like, leaks are Warner Brothers is infamous for them. But I would like something like what you said. That would be nice. And I think make a lot of people feel better. Kind of help people wrap their brains around it. And Jodan, TYM versus Nethercast, stop that. Stop it. TYM is great. Nethercast does a podcast that a couple people listen to. It's come on, man. And listen, we're fucking we're together. They fucking post our shit. TYM's sick. No feuds. Stop it. And I like TYM.
There's, I mean, it's
like
fun.
TYM.
It's all in good fun. Like, none of it's sinister.
No sinister. Was there something else?
But yeah, good question, Jodan. And also, a good question, I think it was Timmy who asked the first question. Let me see if I can scroll up here.
It was, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Except for Down 4 asking me about Soul Calibur. I mean, the gap standard...
Oh, good question, Down 4.
Well, it's okay. Talk about whether the current feeling of Injustice 2 is a case of how NRS community doesn't know what it wants. I mean, we've kind of been talking about that. But I mean, and he goes on, the common complaint about it being boring, no fun. When do we draw the line, or will we complain that until there's an Ultimate Mortal Kombat 9? And I said something like down there, and it would be sick. Like Ultimate Mortal Kombat 9 does sound sick, but I wouldn't want it unless there was a lot of work done to like the balance and shit.
Yes, the balance and the glitches need to go for sure.
Like there's like. Yeah, it would be a lot of work. I want to see a lot of things done, and obviously, fucking throw out whatever 1992 MS-DOS netcode is in that game, and give it something playable. Like that would just be a big project. I would love it if it happened, but I don't want it. There's a lot of things that I don't want even resembling that game's original release. Like the crazy balance and like the netcode and stuff like that. It'd be a lot of work. But I'd be hyped to see it. I like that game. And I've said it a billion times, I still prefer that approach to movement and spacing and that feel as opposed to the Mortal Kombat X approach. I feel like that way better, and I would love that. It'd be a lot of work though. And I would not want it just to be released as was even as it was with like a few new characters. Like, no, I still don't want that. I want something better.
That would almost be worse. Like if the game still has the input glitch, and it still has player one advantage.
Oh, player one advantage.
Still has the broke ass balance, and then they add like Bo Right Show. Like that's almost the worst case scenario. Like don't do that.
No,
please.
I mean, listen, there would be a lot of people that would be happy.
So yeah, now you have to drop my downforce Bo Right Show. That's great. Yeah, that's the worst. Don't do that.
I mean, listen, there's a fucking ton of people out there that love Armageddon just because of the roster, and I get it. I don't want that shit. I don't want that shit at all. That shit, that shit makes me sad all day. The shit gets me
Down Forality is like talking shit in the chat. He's like, oh no, that'd be the best case scenario. Down 4, I promise you, when you're trying to chase down Cabal with belly flops, you're going to lose your mind, brother. No one is going to enjoy that. That is going to be the worst.
Listen, I would love Bo Right Show to be in the game, but also balance the game. Also rebalance the game. I don't want fucking Cyrax Infinite shit. I don't want Sonya in that fucking game. Like, no. I don't want Mortal Kombat 9 as it was. I don't want Mortal Kombat 9 as it was with a couple new characters. Fuck that.
I mean, like, as for everything else, I would say, why is the community so back and forth on, like, oh, less patches, more balance, and then, oh, why is the game so boring? My answer to that is just our community just, I don't feel like we play other games as much, and I don't think that's a blow. That was actually, that's an age thing to me. I feel like our community wasn't really a thing until 2011. And didn't really grow into something substantial and permanent until 2012. So we weren't there for a lot of the Marvel 2 stuff. We weren't there for the Third Strike stuff. We weren't there. We weren't even really there for the Street Fighter 4 stuff in the beginning. So we don't know what we want because we don't really know what's out there. And instead of playing other games, what we do...
You just called everyone babies? Is that what you're doing here?
I'm not much better. I was part of the Marvel scene in Corpus Christi, but like... I didn't understand the game back then. That was in 2000. That was 1999 through 2003. That was part of that scene. And not only did I not understand the game at a high level, but our scene was like basically two unknowns, Mark and that guy with the Pokemon hat. We were not by any means like a full-blown scene. And no one really, and the people who didn't know what they were doing were not regular. They would show up, they'd play, they'd body everyone with like doom zoning. It wasn't until 2009 that I really made an effort to learn the game and play the game. And it wasn't really until Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition came out that I was playing competitively with other people. So really 2000, I would say like 2010, 2011 is when I really became viable competitively. 2009 is when I really became the 09er that, I'm kind of an 09er hybrid. I was there for the old stuff, but I didn't understand what was going on around me at the time. I didn't understand fighting games had that level of depth. And if anyone around me knew that, they didn't talk about it. They didn't say anything. That's the way it was back then. If you don't know what you're doing, well, that's too bad. Probably no one's going to tell you. So I think just they need to play more games because that way they'll find out exactly what they like and what they want to see in MK. What you were saying?
I don't think I was saying anything.
I heard a breathe.
I did not breathe. Definitely did not breathe.
Sounded like you breathed.
Well, either way, I think you answered that question very well.
Thank you, sir. And thank you, the Gab Standard. I appreciate that question.
Yes, thank you, Gab Standard, very much. Eggo Waffle asks a fantastic question. It really is. I'm not being sarcastic. It's a nice change for a second. Like I told him here, it's not going to be that long. It's not that hard to answer. Not sure if you guys already covered this. Would you want Conquest mode to be the main storytelling mode in MK11, or would you rather it featured alongside a different main mode, say a chapter-based story mode like in MK9 and X? If, of course, you'd want Conquest mode at all. And he goes on to say, would you prefer a full open world or something more linear like Armageddon's Conquest mode? Do you have any thoughts or opinions about that?
As long as it lets me play the game, I think that'd be okay. I think my problem with story mode, or really most of the modes, is they don't let me play the game. They make me watch a movie. Yeah. And every once in a while I get to play the game with a character I don't know how to use yet. So that's why story modes are such a drag for me. To this day, I have not beaten the Injustice story mode. Brainiac has not been unlocked on either console. So, I usually just watch that on YouTube and then, buy 2 copies of the game, so it all balances out. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Conquest come back, but there has to be real goals, and those goals have to be accomplished with the skills I learned in the game for me to be interested. So it is a good question. But also, what Conquest is and isn't is not super established, because the 3 Conquest modes we have are all extremely different. So it's just depends on how they do it. I'm down for anything fun, but story modes are more interesting than they are fun, and that's assuming you haven't already seen them on YouTube. So that's how I feel about that. It is a good question, and like kind of Downforce said below, like feel free to ask us anything you want, guys. I mean, we're not going to promise you we'll answer everything, but generally, like we're down to answer whatever. Like as long as it's not something like straight, as long as you're not trolling, or even if you are, as long as it's light trolling, I'm okay with answering whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we fucking talk about Tonewood. It's fine. We gotta talk more about Tonewood sometime.
Yeah, Tonewood X2.
And I mean, as far as story modes go, like, I think MK4 was probably my favorite, but I also just really liked the way they did it in all 4 of those first games.
MK4?
Yes, MK4.
For Conquest?
Well, no, he's talking like story modes in general.
Oh.
Like overall, like what would I do? Like, do you want Conquest mode? Would you rather have the chapter-based thing like we've been getting?
Okay, so you want the traditional ladder ending situation?
Yeah, but Mortal Kombat 4 did it fun because they were cutscenes. With like voice acting and fucking people running around doing stupid shit and dropping Jarek off a cliff. But it was fun though, because like when you play through as more than one character, like you get to see more of a scene, or a scene might, scenes would get extended, but they wouldn't conflict. Like, so if you saw everybody's, then the story would kind of be complete at that point. It wasn't like what if shit. Which was interesting, and I don't think they've really done that since. It was fun doing it that way. But I also liked the way that they did it in the first 3 arcade games, because even though that was like sparse and text-based and whatever else you want to say about it, like, it was also very passive and secondary and not intrusive. If you want to go to the story and check it out, it was there for you, absolutely. And you got to do like a fun scavenger hunt and play it through with different characters and piece it together yourselves, which is, I think, kind of makes you feel more invested when you do put the pieces together yourself. It's a little bit like how Dark Souls feels in Bloodborne whenever you're experiencing the stories in those games. It's more fun, you feel more involved. But if you don't give a fuck about any of that shit, you're just playing the fighting game, and it's fine. And I really like that. I really like the like I said, unintrusiveness of it. It's not like I don't like the story shit. Sure I do. Like fucking Sub-Zero is my boy, and I've always loved Sub-Zero since Mortal Kombat 1. He's been my main. But it's a fucking fighting game, and I want to play a fighting game.
Yeah, exactly. If you let me play the game, then I'm down for pretty much whatever, as long as I can play the game in an interesting way.
Yeah, and don't make me play as Jackie, goddammit. Fuck you. I don't want to do that either. So yeah, I hope that helps out, Eggo Waffle. I hope that satisfies you. We don't talk about lore shit that much, but you know, we talk about everything else, so why not? And we talk about Fujin. No, we haven't mentioned Fujin this whole podcast, I think.
Oh, we came so close.
Django, what are you speaking of? What you are speaking of is user involvement and agency. Remove that and you immediately become a passive member of the story. Yes, if you don't have agency, you are passive.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean that's the problem with like modern gaming in general. It's like, oh, you like our game? We'll put down the controller for 20 minutes and watch this cutscene. GG. Like, that's kind of like the modern era.
It really is. Like, more and more all the time, it's like fucking, did you watch that video game or did you play it? And I would rather fucking play it, man. Fucking, there's a billion games that are fucking like that. Last of Us. Fucking, Uncharted it has that problem a lot of the time. Fucking a billion games. I don't need to name them all. You know, they know who they are. Fuck that shit. Jesus, Detroit. Have fun, boy. Let's just talk about Detroit for a while. Jesus Christ. And that's fine if that's what you're into. It's fine if there is a market, and there obviously is for people that would rather watch video games than play them. Absolutely. Like, that would make Razer so happy. So just do that. That's cool. Make it Detroit Mortal Kombat Edition by Johnny Cage or whoever that guy's name is, and Razer will love it. It'll be great.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, awesome. You know, I don't know. I think I think they answered that very. Do you hear me? Do you hear me breaking down as this podcast continues? It's 4:24 in the morning, man. I'm dying. You can hear it. It's live.
We're making good ground, though. We're persevering.
We're doing fine. We're in the home stretch. Let me fucking try to. Whew. What's your least favorite Mortal Kombat game and what's your favorite? Bruh. Least favorite Mortal Kombat game is every single one of the, quote, 3D era. Mortal Kombat 5, 6, and 7. They're all shit. And my favorite is Mortal Kombat 2. How about you, Tim?
It depends on...
Oh, DC is shit, too. MK versus DC.
It's a categorical question. Like, from a gameplay perspective, God. My favorite is 9. From an art design perspective, my favorite is... I would say Deception is probably my favorite from a pure design standpoint, just in terms of, like, the roster selection and the presentation at that time. I thought was really good. And just, like, the journey to Deception was so much fun. That was probably the best MKO ever was on the pre-release for Deception. That was probably my favorite era of MKO. My least favorite is MK4. I actually really, really don't like that game. For one, it homogenized a lot of the characters, which I've kind of softened up on that. But I feel like MK3 had a much better approach to character diversity than MK4. But more importantly, I just fucking hate that roster so much. I mean, I feel like they were on the fast track to doing something really cool, and they just abandoned all of it. Like, I get you can't make MK3 twice, and I get that a lot of people were so sick of MK3's aesthetic. They were so because it was just, there were so many palette swaps, and that game's era felt like it lasted forever. It felt like it took MK4 forever to come out. So people were so done with cyborgs and like Sandmen and Cabals, and like people were just done with it. They were tired. So it was very clear they wanted to bring back classic Mortal Kombat, but God, that game dropped so many balls. For one thing, almost all the new characters were just not my thing. Fujin, Tanya I liked later. I did not like Tanya in MK4. I liked her in Deception. But God, Jarek sucked. Fujin is really the only one I liked. I hated Quan Chi back then. I'm like, who's this bald asshole? Like, so I would say 4 is probably my least favorite. 4 is probably the game where I was not just, I mean, I liked it a lot of the time it came out because the transition to 3D was actually very interesting in how they did it, but everything about 4 aged badly. I feel like the weapon system aged horribly. I feel like the generic combos, or at least they were generic back then. Maybe there's some combo tech I never found. I'm sure there's combo tech I never found. God, just where all the coolest parts of MK3 were just abandoned. Like, I get that you're not going to bring back Sindel. I get that you're not going to bring back Stryker. That makes sense. You're trying to get away from that aesthetic. I do not blame them for that. Why would you abandon Smoke? Like, that everything was perfect for that character to come back. He was hella popular. Gone. Just like it was like he never even happened. I hated a lot of designs in that game. I think Reptile to this day still looks like shit. I hate the silver diaper. The purple pants are fucking weird. It looks like he's wearing a gimp mask. He doesn't, like, instead of the lizard head, he just kind of looks like a scaly bald dude. Clearly, I'm not, like, super into, like, bald characters. Not my thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, yeah, MK4 just aged so badly. Like, even the story elements are people like them for...
You are really trying to justify this answer.
Yeah,
like,
I don't like MK4.
You don't have to defend your decision that much. Like, it's fine. You don't... I get it. You're a nice guy. And I like you trying to explain yourself to soften the blow. I'm just like... I am not going to try to explain to you all the reasons those 3 games are shit. They're shit. And there's nothing more to talk about. Like... That's fine. Like, you're right, and I understand all your reasonings for your Mortal Kombat 4 feelings.
If you ask me any game I would rather go back and play, MK4 would be the very last on my list. I'd rather play MK versus DC before I went back to MK4. I'd rather play MK1, which is arguably barely a fighting game. It's so weird and awkward. I would not go back to MK4. I don't want to revisit that game. Oh, okay, I like Shinnok. Shinnok's great. I will say that Shinnok's like one of the best things ever. But yeah, that's it. I'd go back to Armageddon before I went back to MK4.
Dude, fuck
Actually, I don't even think that would be that bad. Like, I think Armageddon was
fuck off. Jesus Christ. Who's
Armageddon gets enough credit?
What the fuck? Shut the fuck up. What is...
No, fuck you.
Who is talking shit? I don't know what you guys are saying. I just see someone added me. Stop! Don't at me. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't have a soulless commercial answer to anything in my life. Fuck you. I don't even know if that was directed towards me, actually. I don't know. Mortal Kombat 2 is the best.
Well, yeah, good question, Timmy. Appreciated.
And I think the last big one is Brusque's here. Brusque asked, y'all, good use of the word y'all, think that we will ever get to a point where the community will just get bigger? I know Temp says our community isn't big enough, which is true, but will we ever grow to a point where long support of our games is more of a higher possibility for our games? That's a lot of usage of that phrase. And evil numbers aren't Garbo? If so, how? Question for Temp, but it could be for Dingo too. Well...
I think not only I do think it will get bigger. I do think we will. I don't know if we'll break the cycle, but we'll definitely get bigger. I think there's 2 reasons for that. Part of that is because the tide is just rising. The FGC is getting bigger, so we are going to by default probably get bigger with it. I think that's inevitable. Even though the CEO numbers weren't comparably good, like 5 years ago, like 140 person game was pretty fucking good. So yeah, the tide is just rising. Everyone's going to get bigger because the FGC is getting bigger. So there's just more people in the know about what we do and what fighting games are about, and there's more people learning. So we're definitely get bigger. Are we going to be competitively bigger, like Dragon Ball Fighter's bigger or Street Fighter bigger? I think it could happen. That is by no means like a guarantee. I don't think that's inevitable, but it could. And I would say if I had to gamble, I would say that something like that will probably happen. We'll probably hit like Tekken numbers or like Smash 4 numbers, I think, within the next like 5 to 10 years or so, just because the games are clearly getting better. I mean, NetherRealm is very clearly getting better at what they do. And I think esports is not going away anytime soon. I think it's evolving, because I think every model of esports is kind of struggles. It struggles and changes, struggles and changes. That's the pattern with esports. So I would say they're going to keep throwing out money as long as the game keeps selling. So we are going to get bigger, I think. I would bet that we will probably be a titan of a game eventually, just because the games are clearly getting more refined. So I think MK11 is a real candidate for that, and maybe the game after that, or maybe the one after that. But yeah, I don't think we're in a dire straits when it comes to the long term. It's the short term I'm worried about. I think in the long term we're going to be fine, and we are going to get impressively. I guess our numbers are going to get better. I don't know where I was going with the impressively thing, but yeah, I think things are looking good on the long term and on the long game for sure. Yeah, Django.
I agree, and I think, you know, the thing he says about will we ever get to a point to will we ever grow to a point to where long support of our games is more of a higher possibility? I don't think that's a growth issue. I don't think it's a size issue. I think that's I think that's part of what's going on right now at NRS and WB. You can't support the game higher when you're cranking out the replacement. You know, like, NRS is as much to blame for that as the community, if not more so. So if they want their games to have a longer life and they want longer support, then support it longer and don't rush out the next thing, because obviously people don't really want to do Mortal Kombat and Injustice concurrently. Like, it's either one or the other, and when the next one comes out, the last one goes, and that's just how people approach those things. So, I mean, doing what they're doing right now is, in my opinion, like, the first necessary step towards that, in my opinion.
And we're getting better. I mean, things have only gotten better every game, so I'm definitely I see no reason for worry yet. Not at least not for the next installment. I think it's only going to get better.
Don't worry. There's definitely no reason for worry. It's going to be fine. Fucking, they make $1 billion. They're the most successful fucking fighting games on the market, except for Smash, probably. Fuck Smash. Let me see. And fucking Chrome says, you know, hail to the how. You know, Chrome got a Chrome. Don't ever answer what's the best nut. Well, I did. And it's true. I like this funny picture he did of the Nutty Professor. That's fucking also scary.
I will definitely answer that question. The best nut is the pistachio, by far.
You know?
Hey, if you disagree, come at me. So that's all I'm saying.
I already did. Fucking peanut. Shut up. It's great. It's fucking, you can make, dude, peanut butter, beat peanut butter with anything. Just try. It's a fucking losing matchup. I don't care what you're bringing to the table. Fucking pistachio butter? Fuck off. Does that exist? Is there pistachio butter?
I mean, I feel like that's a cheating ass answer, because like that's like saying, "Oh, my favorite fruit is wine." Get the fuck out of here.
It's not fucking cheating, dude. Because peanuts are great by themselves, and they make one of the best fucking things ever. So,
all right, yeah, I'll agree to disagree.
Oh, fucking yes.
Peanuts
Pistachio
ruin ice cream.
Butter
like
exists.
Hardcore. Peanuts are like the worst thing that ever happened to ice cream.
Chrome,
Nuts in
something
general are the
doesn't
worst thing that ever
exist
happened to
just
us.
because you can make it. That's not how that works. You know, fucking shit I could make that shouldn't exist. Like, that's not how that works. I had made it. Well, I don't care at what point you made it. If it's past tense, it's still the same thing. Pistachio butter.
I'll try it. I'm down.
Oh yeah, I know you try it.
Sounds expensive.
It does sound expensive. Again, it sounds like a hipster snack.
Yeah, I can see that.
I only eat organic pistachio butter. It's a thing.
It sounds like a shitty substitute for something much better. I will say that for sure.
Fucking free range pistachios only, please. He likes being drunk and experimenting. Well, listen, what you do in your bedroom is beyond the scope of this podcast, I think.
It doesn't have to be in the bedroom. It could be in the living room.
Still way beyond the scope of this podcast.
Okay, indeed.
That is
true. We are deviating quite a bit.
I think. Oh, and to finish everything off, I don't think there was another question. There was another question, was there?
I don't think so, no. Oh, good question, Brusque, by the way. Super appreciated.
Yeah, it was alright.
And we do appreciate the feedback, of course, Chrome.
Absolutely.
Pistachios are good.
I definitely agree with thanks for the feedback. It's okay, but I'm glad it's there. I do want to say before we hang up, I am getting to the point. I am starting to flirt with the line of enjoying Street Fighter V. I went, I think it was yesterday, online for the first time.
Ooh.
And played some ranked matches. I think I played 6. And I won 5 of them. And I was surprised. Now, I was probably playing really shitty players because I'm sure their ranking system kind of works, whereas NetherRealms does not.
No, it does, yeah.
So,
I don't consider myself particularly great at the game, but I was botting people online the other day. And I'm like, maybe, at Street Fighter 5 at least, I'm like mediocre at best. Yeah. So, I'm excited.
I'm like, yeah, that has... My experience with those like 6 random ranked matches has no bearing on my skills because I suck. But what's important is I'm starting to have fun with it, and that's when things get exciting. That's when I start feeling a fighting game, and it makes me want to keep playing more. I'm having a lot of fun with the Akuma, and I did that. I did a fucking shitty thing with myself. I was like, look, I really want that Akuma nostalgia costume for obvious reasons, because it's the correct one. But I'm not gonna do it until I win 3 ranked matches. Then I can get it.
Did you buy 2 costumes?
No, he doesn't have 2 costumes of 1. He just has the 1, and I bought that one.
I actually like Sunflower Akuma a lot. I think Sunflower Akuma looks tight. That's me. I wish he had eyebrows, but still.
I don't hate it either. It's I mean, yeah, it's weird, but it's not like that weird. It's not a deal breaker. I think it looks fine. I don't want that weird costume he had. That's the newest one with the recent patch or DLC or whatever. He's like wearing a fucking samurai kimono or some shit.
Oh, that's a Capcom Pro Tour costume, I believe.
I don't know what that is. I don't want that shit. But I got the nostalgia costume, and I'm playing Akuma now, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm having fun with Akuma. He's a good guy. Is he good? I keep hearing he's good. Because I don't know shit about the tiers in that game.
I think the consensus is he's at least top 3. Many of the prominent tournament players believe he's number 1 in the game. So yes, he's very good. He's very, very good.
Well, that's weird for me. I never do that.
Hey, I'm excited, dude. I cannot wait to play Assassin's Street Fighter. Like, I am I mean, by far, out of all the games we play in the Discord, Street Fighter 5 has grown the fastest. We have such good competition for that game, so once we add you to the mix, dude, it's gonna get sick, man. We're gonna talk so much shit.
Oh god, I'm looking forward to getting my ass handed to me repeatedly. It's gonna be fun.
You might be so. Well, since Chrome just asked a question, you want to knock this one out real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Question for the next time or now.
Now.
Game data output. Wouldn't it be better to have health and stamina readouts as numbers instead of bars? I like bars better because my brain because one thing when I play fighting games is it's a skill to kind of be cognizant of how much meter in life you have, because that lets you know what your best options are. And my brain does not process numbers the same way it processes a gauge. So I like bars better. Numbers may have room. I mean, I like metrics. If we're gonna do numbers, I would like that at the end of the match. I want the game to tell me how awesome I am. That would be sick. But yeah, I like bars. I want the bars to look fucking good too. I hate shitty health bars.
I mean, what the fuck is that?
Listen, why is Pikachu there?
Why is Pikachu there? I don't know what, dude. You're fucking said. Is this some weird Hungarian game?
It's like some Game Gear shit.
Is this the version of Mortal Kombat on console that you guys got back in the day? This is the way Eastern European port of Mortal Kombat 2. Liu Kang versus Sub-Zero. It looks good.
For our audience who doesn't know, we're looking at pictures that are posted, but from the Discord. Apparently, it's a Commodore 64 ripoff of Street Combat.
I will absolutely put this picture in the YouTube video.
Do it.
Just so everyone can know what the fuck I'm looking at. Why Pikachu is eyeing Sub-Zero's ass.
It's not ambiguous.
It's not? Wow, this game looks fancy. Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought that into our lives. That's a really good thing. And health bars. Numbers instead of meters made me think of Symphony of the Night, because Symphony of the Night has a combination of both. Wait, no,
Yes,
health is a number, and magic is a meter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
God, it was fucking weird. It was really fucking weird. Why do they do that? I feel like with the very next game that guy did, Iga, which was Harmony of Dissonance on the Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color, one of those two. They immediately switched to like doing it both. So you have both meters, and then beside the meters you have the numbers. Which might be redundant, but I don't know why they did it, and they still do it. Like, that was still the standard up until now. And I think that the Bloodstained is doing it, too.
Do we have a release date on that game yet?
Boy.
Yeah, we should probably... Maybe that's better for after the recording. We should probably open up that can of worms.
Bloodstained's looking sick. Everybody go check it out if you haven't, if you're into Castlevania at all. It looks good. It looks like good shit. But no, I think the only release date is still, like, this year. But a new beta disc went out to people, though. So that's cool. Anyway.
We'll see, I don't know. The Indivisible got delayed by a year, and that pissed me off. So, we'll see.
One thing that makes me feel really good about that game is they've never been shy about letting people play it. And that's a telltale sign, man. Whenever they don't do that,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that game's been at like the past two E3s. People have come and played it, and there's been two betas or two beta demos. So it's the games that you don't get to see gameplay or people don't get to play it that you kind of got to worry about. Boy, if people had played Mighty Number 9 before that game came out, it wouldn't have been the dumpster fire that it was. People would have been ready.
Well, the game people played wasn't even real. They literally changed the good graphics into inferior graphics for her. Like, the demo wasn't even representative, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. It was...
I don't know, dude. I don't know. That game... Let's not talk about Mighty Number 9. That's so fucking crazy. I backed that shit, too. Boy. I've got Mighty Number 9 sitting on my Xbox One right now.
I downloaded it for free on
You got it for free?
PS4. Yeah, it was one of the free games for the... I think it was on the PS4. It was one of the subscription-free games. I just downloaded it. I'm not going to play it.
You paid too much for it.
Yes. I've been told.
Yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up.
Yeah, I guess it's just...
what do you got?
No, I was going to shout out Evan. Thank you for writing the articles, man. I think those have probably done more good for us than anything. Because I think it helps people know what the show's about, and... I don't know, like, I think it's a good, like, it's just a good intro to what we're about, so I'm glad he's doing that. It's helping us, like, so much, in my opinion. I feel like that's doing a lot of good, so huge shout-outs to Evan.
I always mean to do that, and I feel bad for not doing it.
He does it for the Nethercast, too, and he does it for the Lost. They're all really good.
Man, that guy is inhuman, dude. Fucking lawyer, MMA... tournament going to fighting game player, and he writes up all that sick shit on TYM for us, dude. I mean, stop it. You're making everybody look bad. Whew. And he's got the accent, dude. That accent?
Sure, you can't compete with that. That accent is sexy.
We gotta have him back just for the accent. I'm missing it.
I think we're having him on after Evo. I think he's actually our next episode. If we get one before Evo, we'll probably hold off. But if our next episode is post Evo, I think we're bringing him back.
I hope so. He's due. It's time. I don't know what we'll talk about, but it's time.
Yeah, it's the season. I think the last time we had him on was August. So yeah, that's about right.
Boy, I'm looking forward. And Evan, this is how you find out. You're welcome. Is there anything else?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure there is, but like, I think we've covered a lot of bases tonight. I think we're in a good spot.
I do too. It was a juicy episode. This is one of my favorites. I might actually go back and listen to this one again, which is saying something.
Yeah, no, I mean, I look forward to seeing the reception, because I feel like now that we know what people are expecting and how people perceived it previously, I hope we addressed a lot of that. I hope a lot of that is cleared up. So if not, just keep the feedback coming, guys. We'll do with it what we can. I mean, obviously, we're not going to make any big changes over here. We are what we are, but I mean, we still want to know what you think. It still helps us out a lot.
Absolutely. And listen, whether you agree or disagree or dig or don't dig, whatever, like, thanks for listening. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I really, that's enough for me. Maybe I got low standards. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's what this podcast is, just to start that conversation and see what happens. I mean, that's what's interesting to me, at least.
Yeah, I agree. Fun. And glad you guys are doing what you're doing over there. Maybe we can have another 3-page spread. Fucking... What's this guy's... Chrome? Sorry, dude, my brain is dead.
No, good question, Chrome. Super appreciated.
Good question, Chrome. I see this Mortal Kombat 2 on Commodore 64 made by one person. Good for that person. I see Pikachu in the title of the... Why are you... Jesus Christ. Get out of here. Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. Take care of yourselves and each other. I see you delete that link. I already saw it. Bye, everybody.
Later.
No.